Global Martial Arts, I Only Know a Little Bit of Kung Fu, Part 2. The next morning, Lin Gu completed the discharge procedures and did not go to school. He was still on leave, which saved him a lot of trouble. Wenqin Martial Arts School. Lin Gu pushed the door open and walked in. It was empty inside with only a beautiful receptionist standing there. "How can I help you, sir?" the lady at the front desk asked politely. "Hello, I am a student who is here to register." Lin Gu nodded politely at the other party. "What's your name, please?" "I'll check it for you." The lady at the front desk was stunned when she heard this, then she put on her professional smile. "Lin Gu. Okay, wait a moment." After the lady at the front desk finished speaking, she started typing away on the computer. "Hello Mr. Lin, I have found your information, please follow me." The lady at the front desk made a please gesture. Lin Gu stood up from the sofa and followed the other person inside. "Teacher Wang, this is the new Mr. Lin." The lady at the front desk shouted to a middle-aged man. "New here? Why are you here at this time?" The instructor Wang frowned and looked a little unhappy when he heard this. "I'm sorry to teach you, this is my first time at a martial arts gym, and I'm not sure about your schedule." Lin Gu quickly went up to apologize. "Well, what's your name?" When instructor Wang saw Lin Gu, a flash of surprise appeared in his eyes and he asked casually. "Lin Gu. You just got here, so go get your physical fitness tested first, and then I'll make a training plan for you based on your data." After teacher Wang finished speaking, he ignored him. "Mr. Lin, please follow me." The lady at the front desk took Lin Gu to a closed room filled with various fitness equipment. "Here are various instruments with instructions for use. Please use them one by one in order. I will record the data." "Okay, thank you for your help." Lin Gu thanked him, took off his coat and grabbed a dumbbell. "This is supposed to be a test of strength." Lin Gu glanced at the instructions and vaguely guessed what it was for. Half an hour later. "Teacher Wang, this is Mr. Lin's test data." The lady at the front desk handed a form to the other party. "Strength 300, speed 12, reflexes S+. The original nonchalant attitude was instantly replaced by surprise. "Your strength and speed are among the best among your peers, and your reaction ability is excellent. Are you a top student from some middle school?" Teacher Wang asked curiously. "An ordinary student from number 1 middle school." "Ordinary student." Teacher Wang looked at Lin Gu deeply and said nothing more. "Looking at your data, you should be here for the martial arts skills, right?" "Yes." "What do you want to learn?" All. Lin Gu, although you have good talent, you should know that you can't chew too much. Only by specializing in one martial art can you go further." After listening to Lin Ge's words, teacher Wang shook his head secretly. He thought that young people were indeed too impetuous. "Thank you for your teachings. I just want to gain more experience so that I won't be completely clueless when I encounter this problem in the future." Lin Gu explains. Teacher Wang hummed without commenting. "We'll practice boxing later. You watch from the side first. I'll teach you later." "Thank you for your instruction." Lin Gu thanked him. Martial arts arena. Explosive punches require strength and ferocity. In an instant, all the energy in your body is concentrated on your fist. "Let me demonstrate first." Instructor Wang started practicing as he spoke. As he swung his fist, loud explosions were heard and the people around him cheered. Lin Gu was also looking at the other person intently, not missing any details. Congratulations to the host for observing the explosive fist training method and successfully learning the explosive fist. Just when Instructor Wang finished a set of punches, a system prompt came into Lin Ge's mind. "You've learned it already." Lin Ge's face was full of surprise, which was soon replaced by excitement. "I can learn it just by watching it once. Doesn't that mean I can just steal their skills and learn from them in the future?" "Lin Gu, come with me." Instructor Wang saw that Lin Gu was distracted and directly called him over. "Here I come." Lin Gu trotted over quickly. "How many of the boxing moves I just demonstrated do you remember?" "Ah, you remembered a little bit." Lin Gu didn't know what the other party wanted to do, so he could only pretend that he hadn't learned it. "A little bit." Instructor Wang was a little surprised. Show me the first 5 moves first, and see how much you have learned. Instructor Wang was obviously unhappy. He had just moved slowly on purpose. Even if one had poor aptitude, one could still remember 3 or 5 moves. However, Lin Ge said that he had only learned a little. How could this not make him angry? Lin Ge had no choice but to walk to the open space, recalling the actions that Instructor Wang had just taken, closed his eyes, and started boxing. Boom. As Lin Ge raised his fist, a loud sound rang out, and the martial arts arena suddenly fell silent. Everyone looked at Lin Ge as if they had seen a ghost. But Lin Ge didn't notice all this. He had his eyes closed at the moment, with the scene just now filling his mind. He threw a punch, looked back, turned around, and kicked, all in a smooth flow, looking exactly the same as what Instructor Wang had just done. "Teacher, this doesn't seem to be the 5th form anymore," a student nearby asked in a low voice. "Lie." Instructor Wang made a gesture to keep quiet. Lin Ge on the stage was now completely immersed in his boxing. Every time he threw a punch, he felt a sense of exhilaration. Even the blood and energy that had accumulated in his body was constantly being refined. From being awkward at the beginning to becoming more and more proficient, Lin Ge became more and more fluent in playing, and his playing became more and more enjoyable. He did this 3 times in a row until all the energy and blood in his body was exhausted, and only then did he come out of that mysterious state. Pa, pa, pa. Instructor Wang took the lead in applauding. The amazement in his eyes was self-evident. "Teacher, I'm done," Lin Ge said a little embarrassedly. "You are such a dishonest boy. How many years have you been studying?" Teacher Wang asked with a smile. Lin Ge was speechless. Why did everyone like to ask this question? Could it be that he was gifted? Although he was unhappy in his heart, he still said respectfully on the surface, "It's the first time we meet today." First time meeting. Instructor Wang was obviously a little unconvinced. "Come with me." Lin Ge didn't understand what was going on, so he could only follow the other party into a closed fighting room. "There's no one here now. Tell me the truth, have you ever practiced this before?" "Teacher, this is really the first time I've seen you." "Well, I'll walk you through it again and see how much you can remember." Seeing that Lin Ge was determined, Instructor Wang stopped talking nonsense and started boxing directly. The difference from before is that this time is faster and involves many difficult moves. After finishing a set of boxing moves, Coach Wang looked at Lin Ge and signaled that he could start. Lin Ge didn't waste any time and started right away. Since all the energy and blood in his body was used up, although the punches he threw this time were quite powerful, the force was far inferior to before. "Teacher, I'm done." Lin Ge put his fist back and stood still. "Go away, I can't teach you." After watching Lin Ge's performance, Instructor Wang had a complicated look on his face. Why? Lin Ge thought he had done something wrong. "Your talent would only delay you if I were in your hands. I will tell the head instructor and ask him to teach you personally. Also, don't tell anyone about what happened today. If anyone asks, just say you've practiced this before. Remember." Instructor Wang looked serious and gave Lin Ge careful instructions. Good. Although Lin Ge didn't know why the other party said that, he himself was a low-key person and he didn't want to show off this kind of thing. "You came to the martial arts gym for the 4 Cities League, right?" Instructor Wang suddenly asked. Lin Ge nodded directly. "That's right. With your talent, you are indeed qualified to be a seated player. Since you asked me to teach you, I will teach you one thing: a tree that stands out in the forest will be destroyed by the wind." After saying this, Instructor Wang turned and left. Lin Ge savored this sentence carefully, and combined with the other party's action just now asking him to conceal his talent, he vaguely guessed something. Although Coach Wang said that he couldn't teach him, he still gave Lin Ge special training from time to time during training. Not only boxing, but also swordsmanship was taught to Lin Ge in his spare time. "This sword technique was taught by my master. It is not a martial arts school skill. I have been looking for a successor for many years, but I haven't met a suitable one. After seeing your performance today, I think you will not disgrace this sword technique," Instructor Wang said as he took 2 knives from the weapon rack and threw one to Lin Ge. "Watch out, kid. This set of swordsmanship is called Suifeng swordsmanship. It has 9 moves in total and is known for its agility and changes. It contains 81 changes. I have studied it for decades, but I can only barely get started. I hope you can carry forward this sword technique. Instructor Wang waved his sword as he spoke. His figure was graceful and agile, just like catkins in the wind. It seemed that a gust of wind could blow him away. Lin Ge was dazzled by the sight. This set of skills was more like body skills rather than sword skills, as each move required coordination with the feet. You try it. After Instructor Wang finished his demonstration, he stepped aside and motioned Lin Ge to go up. Lin Ge was not vague and started to imitate Wang's movements. But after only 3 moves, he felt something was wrong. Although his mind remembered it clearly, his body could not keep up with the rhythm. After only using 4 moves, he tripped over himself. It's too difficult. Lin Ge stood up from the ground, a little frustrated. He clearly remembered all the moves just now, but when he really took to the stage, the result was completely different. You can learn it at a glance, but you will lose it once you learn it. That's pretty good. It took me half a year to learn the 4 moves, but you mastered the basic points in just 1 day. It's no exaggeration to call you a genius. The more Teacher Wang looked at him, the more amazed he was. His talent was so great that even he was a little envious. Lin Ge felt a little embarrassed by his praise and could only scratch his head awkwardly. Thank you for your instruction. No need to thank me, just think of this as an investment. I'm optimistic about you. Instructor Wang waved his hand and said jokingly. It's getting late, hurry back. I've already made arrangements for you to go to the Wenxin Martial Arts School in the East District tomorrow. Thank you for your instruction. I will be leaving now. Lin Ge bowed deeply to the teacher whom he had only met once, then turned and left. A golden fish should not be kept in a pond. I hope to see the day when you turn into a dragon. Instructor Wang looked at Lin Ge's leaving back and muttered to himself. After leaving the martial arts gym, Lin Ge went straight home. I tossed and turned in bed, unable to fall asleep, with my mind full of the scenes that happened in the martial arts gym today. I didn't expect that I would suffer from insomnia. Lin Ge smiled self-deprecatingly, then stood up and walked to the yard and began to practice the exercises he had learned today. From explosive punches, to charging punches, to wind-following sword techniques. Over and over again, until all the strength in his body was exhausted, then he stopped. On the other side, inside a villa. Mo Wenjun looked at the message sent from the computer and couldn't calm down for a long time. The elder brother is a genius, but I didn't expect the younger brother to be even more evil. He learned 2 sets of level 1 boxing techniques and a set of level 3 sword techniques in just 1 day. Is he still a human being? Dad, who are you talking about? A young and beautiful girl came over. An interesting boy. By the way, how is your preparation for the competition going? Mo Wenjun looked at his daughter with a doting face. The school will start the selection tomorrow. I have already reserved 1 spot, and the rest of you will compete for the other 9. Mo Zihan's face was full of pride. As the top student in the senior year of Yuanqing No. 1 Middle School, she used her strength to tell others that where she was, the others could only compete for 2nd place. Ha ha ha. You are worthy of being my daughter. Which university are you planning to go to this time? Mo Wenjun had great confidence in his daughter's abilities and did not even consider whether she could pass the exam. He just asked her directly where she wanted to go. Capital University or Haiqing University, we'll talk about it when the time comes. Hey, who is this guy? He's quite powerful. He can even use a punch skillfully. Mo Zihan glanced at the video on the computer and asked in surprise. The first high school in Fangcheng, Lin Yu's younger brother Lin Ge, a kid underestimated by everyone. His talent is stronger than Lin Yu's. Mo Wenjun said with some sigh. Stronger than brother Lin Yu's talent? Isn't this a bit exaggerated? Mo Zihan was somewhat disapproving of what his father said. Who is Lin Yu? 5 years ago, he single-handedly defeated the geniuses of 4 city universities, making them unable to raise their heads. And now Mo Wenjun actually said that Lin Ge is stronger than Lin Yu. I knew you didn't believe it. Look at this again. Mo Wenjun pulled up another video. What kind of swordsmanship is this? It looks powerful. Mo Zihan thought he was knowledgeable, but when he saw the knife skills in the video, he found that he couldn't find the source at all. This is your Uncle Wang's unique martial art, called Suifeng sword technique, which is considered a 4th grade martial art. 4th grade martial arts? Mo Zihan exclaimed. It wasn't because she had never seen a 4th grade martial art before, but because the user was someone of the same age as her. As we all know, using high-level martial arts beyond one's level can easily damage one's own foundation. Without sufficient talent, one is likely to get hurt even when practicing, let alone using it. Although Lin Ge's movements in the video are a bit awkward, it can be seen that he can indeed use 4th grade martial arts. I've told you a long time ago that there are always people who are better than you. There are so many geniuses in this world. You'll understand when you go to college. Dad, I want to learn your Fiery Sun Fist. Mo Zihan watched the video for a while and suddenly said. Nonsense, you haven't even reached the level of a warrior yet. If you rashly practice the Fiery Sun Fist, it will only delay your training. There is no shortcut to martial arts training. Wait until you become a warrior. Mo Wenjun knew what his daughter was thinking, so he refused outright. My Qi and HP are about to break through 500, and I am only one step away from becoming a warrior. I want to become stronger, at least stronger than him. Mo Zihan pointed at Lin Gu in the video, with amazing fighting spirit in his eyes. There's no need to talk about this anymore. I won't teach you the Fiery Sun Fist until you become a warrior. Mo Wenjun said in an unquestionable tone. Become a warrior, become a warrior. Am I so far away from being a warrior now? Mo Zihan said somewhat angrily. If you can't become a warrior, even if your Qi and blood value reaches the critical value, you are just an ordinary person. You will understand this when you break through the warrior realm in the future. Mo Wenjun's tone was a little bleak. The difference between the HP values of 500 and 501 seems to be only a small one, but in fact, it is a huge gap. It is this point that blocks more than 70% of people. No conversation that night, and the next morning. Lin Gu took the bus to Wenxin Martial Arts Hall in Dongqing District. Mo Wenjun had been waiting here for a long time. When he saw Lin Gu, he took him directly to a room. I already know about your situation. I heard from your brother that you want to learn some skills. Do you have any requirements? No special requirements, the more the better. Lin Gu answered truthfully. The more the better? Do you think this is buying vegetables? Don't you know that you can't eat too much when you bite off more than you can chew? Mo Wenjun was amused by Lin Ge's words. Lin Gu was speechless. He couldn't say it was a system task, right? Learn more and gain more knowledge. Forget it. I don't care what you're thinking. If you want to learn, just follow me. I will teach you personally during this period of time. Thank you, uncle. Lin Gu quickly thanked him. Hey, don't thank me yet. I have to say this first. You can learn more martial arts, but you have to do it to my satisfaction. Otherwise, forget it. Mo Wenjun simply waved his hand, signaling him to listen to what he had to say. Good. Lin Gu agreed immediately. Yesterday you learned the punch and blast punch from Lao Wang. Today I will teach you a set of shock punches. Watch out. After Mo Wenjun finished speaking, he began to demonstrate on his own. He was worried that Lin Gu would not remember, so he deliberately slowed down. The shock fist is different from the previous two types of boxing. It looks like pushing a mill, and each move is powerful and strong. The key to the shock fist is the word shock. Every move and every form has a long-lasting force. It can be used for attack or defense, and can hurt the enemy's internal organs. It is difficult for non-martial artists to resist it. Mo Wenjun demonstrated and explained the tricks to Lin Gu. After watching it, Lin Gu felt that this style of boxing seemed to have something in common with the previous two. But I can't tell exactly where they are the same. You try it. After Mo Wenjun finished explaining, he asked Lin Gu to practice it. Good. Lin Gu responded and started practicing. No, this is wrong. Should it be like this? Mo Wenjun only took a glance and realized the flaw in Lin Ge's moves. I'm sorry uncle, could you show me a few more times? I don't remember it. Lin Gu quickly apologized and acted embarrassed. Okay, I'll show you again. Mo Wenjun took a deep look at Lin Gu, and his evaluation of him increased. At such a young age, he knows how to keep a low profile. No wonder no one noticed him in school. Lin Gu read it 3 times in a row before he said he had memorized it completely. It's good for you to be vigilant, but you should remember that too much is as bad as too little. If you want to learn more martial arts, you should be less cautious. Mo Wenjun really didn't want to continue acting with him. He had clearly already learned it, but he pretended not to understand it. His acting was so poor that even Mo Wenjun felt embarrassed for him. Lin Gu was shocked, and then he understood what the other party meant. It seems that the other party knows my background. That's right, Instructor Wang is his man, and my performance yesterday must have been known to him. After figuring everything out, Lin Gu stopped pretending, clasped his hands together and bowed to Mo Wenjun, then began to practice seriously. A set of shock punches is completed. No wonder Lao Wang taught you his special skills. You are really talented and intelligent. Mo Wenjun's expression showed both joy and some worry. I will do my best to teach you martial arts in the next 2 days. If anyone asks you in the future, just say that your brother taught you before. Uncle, can I ask why? Lin Gu was very curious about this. Wouldn't it be easier for him to be noticed if he was more talented? Why do these people want to hide himself, making it seem like someone wants to harm him? Do you know how many geniuses die during the college entrance examination every year? The more famous they are, the more likely they are to die, especially those who have achieved a breakthrough as a warrior before the college entrance examination. Is there anyone trying to harm these people? Foreign warriors shouldn't have the guts to do that, right? Lin Gu first thought of alien races, but he quickly rejected them. Human cities have always attached great importance to the screening of aliens, not to mention at such an important moment as the college entrance examination, when the people of the whole country are paying attention, and aliens have no chance to assassinate. The alien warriors certainly don't dare, but humans themselves do. There is no shortage of people willing to be running dogs at any time. When Mo Wenjun talked about this, the murderous intent in his eyes was not concealed at all, and it was even stronger than when he faced aliens. Lin Gu was shocked when he heard this. It seems that this world is more dangerous than I thought. Not only do we have to guard against aliens, but there are also some alien lackeys. Of course, I'm not telling you to keep a low profile. When it's time to show yourself, you should also appropriately reveal your value. As for the balance in between, you need to control it yourself. Mo Wenjun saw Lin Ji's hesitation and comforted her. What did my brother do in the first place? Lin Gu asked. He swept away all enemies along the way, repelled 36 assassination attempts by himself, and killed 177 enemies, until no one dared to assassinate him again. When Mo Wenjun said this number, he couldn't help but reveal admiration on his face. Except for those with strong backgrounds, the rest chose to keep a low profile and would not show their strength until they are fully grown. Only him. He showed his talent right from the college entrance examination, not caring at all about being assassinated, or perhaps he deliberately used this method to hone himself. He was assassinated time and time again, but he fought his way out of the siege and killed his enemies time and time again, until no one dared to attack him anymore. However, his efforts were not in vain. He became famous in the college entrance examination and made everyone remember him, a person who came from a small city. This was the first time that Lin Gu heard about Lin Yu's battle record. He didn't expect that the opponent was so tough and could sweep all enemies with his sword. If I can be like my brother, will I also be noticed quickly? Lin Gu couldn't help but guess. Are you also thinking about using this method to attract the attention of the leaders above, just like Lin Yu did in the past, so as to obtain more resource support? Mo Wenjun seemed to see through Lin Ji's thoughts and said it directly. Lin Gu admitted it straightforwardly. Madness. Mo Wenjun shouted angrily, and after a moment, he began to explain, do you know why there have been no warriors before the college entrance examination for so many years? You don't think they are all poorly talented, right? Being a warrior is a threshold. Every year, countless people can cross this threshold, but no one dares to expose themselves, except your brother Lin Yu. It's not because they are worse than your brother, but because, once exposed, they will attract the attention of some alien races and bring about a fatal disaster. Without a backer, how can one person fight against the alien lackeys who have been lurking for hundreds of years? Lin Gu fell silent after listening to this. He had never thought about this question before. In the past 100 years, do you know how many people have broken through to the warrior realm before the college entrance examination and survived? Mo Wenjun asked again. Have no idea. Lin Gu shook his head. There were a total of 1,523 people who reached the warrior realm before the college entrance examination, and 309 of them successfully survived. More than 90% of them are children from large families and have many protectors. Only 3 of them who were truly of civilian origin survived. Mo Wenjun said a number that made Lin Gu feel cold all over. In 100 years, only more than 300 people succeeded, which means an average of only 3 people per year. You should know that there are millions of students taking the college entrance examination every year. Lin Gu was silent. Everyone below the Grandmaster is an ant. Unless you have a Grandmaster-level expert to protect you, keeping a low profile is the safest way to survive. Thank you for your teachings, uncle. Lin Gu will definitely keep them in mind. Lin Gu clasped his fists and bowed to express his gratitude. Okay, let's continue practicing boxing. Mo Wenjun waved his hand, indicating that he should continue practicing boxing. Tomorrow should be the day for your school's selection, so you don't need to come here. Anyway, I have already taught you almost everything I can. The rest is up to you to practice. When the museum closed in the evening, Mo Wenjun smiled and reminded. Thank you, Chief Instructor. Lin Gu clasped his fists to express his gratitude. Today, he learned 5 sets of boxing techniques, 2 sets of body techniques, and 3 types of weapons here. The tasks issued by the system have been completed. Now it's time to draw the rewards. Lin Gu has been holding it in for a whole day, waiting for the museum to open after it closes, and now she finally doesn't have to endure it anymore. Draw the reward. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the talent, Quick Analysis. Quick Analysis, based on the knowledge learned by the host, when observing the target, automatically analyze the opponent's ability, function, and nature. Another crappy skill that actually requires knowledge learned as a standard. Doesn't this mean that if you don't read the book, you can't even use the skill? Lin Gu was speechless and about to collapse. It is indeed the most powerful brain system. The talents given are all different. After Lin Gu finished complaining, he wanted to find someone to try out the effect of his talent. It is detected that the host has the fragments of the Grandmaster Martial Arts Thunder Fist. Do you want to analyze it? Yes/no. Grandmaster level martial arts. When Lin Gu saw the news, he was so shocked that he couldn't speak. Analysis. The Thunder Fist is a master-level martial art. Later, the lower half was lost, and the previous fragments were divided into 5 parts, which are now the first-level boxing techniques: Explosive Fist, Charge Fist, Shock Fist, Speed Fist, and Stacked Fist. The combination of these 5 fists can be used to infer the Thunder Fist. Analysis successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Grandmaster level martial arts, Thunder Fist. Incomplete. Pictures appeared out of thin air in Lin Ge's mind. What an exquisite boxing technique. Thunder. Lin Gu tried to practice it, and with just one move, he drained all the energy and blood from his body. As expected of a master-level martial art, this consumption is too great. Lin Gu collapsed on the ground with a wry smile on his face. Not to mention using it against the enemy, even using it was a bit difficult. After one move, he was completely exhausted. Fangqing No. 1 Middle School. Lin Zi, you're finally here. I missed you so much after not seeing you for 2 days. When Pang Pang Han saw Lin Gu, he walked up to him and gave him a bear hug. Stay away from me, fat guy. I'm not gay. Lin Gu had a look of disgust on her face, but her body was still honest and she hugged the other person. What's the test today? Lin Gu pushed Han Pang Pang away and asked. Today we will test theoretical knowledge, tomorrow we will test physical fitness, and those who pass will participate in the competition the day after tomorrow. Yeah, come on. Lin Gu punched Han Pang Pang and said with a smile. The same to you. Han Pang Pang responded to the other party and they walked into the examination room separately. Looking at the test papers handed out, Lin Gu smiled. Half an hour later. Teacher, hand in the paper. Lin Gu raised his hand. All the candidates looked at him, with confusion, shock, and disdain. "Student, do you want to check it again?" the invigilator advised. "Thank you, teacher." "No thanks." After Lin Gu finished speaking, he stood up and left the examination room. What he lacks most now is time. He used to think that there were few warriors before the college entrance examination. Now he understands that it is not that there are no warriors, but that those people are deliberately hiding their abilities. They are all stuck at the critical point, waiting for the college entrance examination to be over and for entering university to make a breakthrough. He currently has only 300 points of health and energy, which is no match for those people. Even with the support of martial arts, he cannot completely make up for the gap in strength. After all, other people are not fools, and everyone has a few martial arts skills. After leaving the examination room, Lin Gu found a deserted place and started to stand in a posture. This was the only way he could use to increase his qi and blood value. In a corner where no one was around, Chu Yunan looked at Lin Gu, who was standing still seriously, and said with a sigh, "Your brother is quite hardworking. Does he also want to break through to become a warrior and enter the college entrance examination like you?" "No." Lin Yu on the side said firmly. "Why are you so sure?" Chu Yunan was curious. "I broke through the warrior level and entered the college entrance examination because I had no choice. If I didn't work hard, I would have no way to succeed. But he is different. He has me." Lin Yu looked in the direction of Lin Gu, with a hint of tenderness in his eyes. "That's enough. What's the popular term now?" "Yes, brother supporting demon, that's you." Although Chu Yunan complained, he couldn't hide the envy in his eyes. Unfortunately, he is an only child and has no brothers or sisters for him to show off. "I must urge my mom to give me a little brother when I go home this year. This is so infuriating. Ever since coming to Fangcheng, I have been eating Lin Yu's dog food every day, and I am almost suffering from psychological trauma." Just then, their cell phones suddenly rang and a text message alert appeared. The higher-ups have sent out a notice saying that there are unusual movements in the east, and they are planning to transfer us there. Lin Yu took a look and said expressionlessly, "Just the two of us?" Chu Yunan raised his eyebrows. "Probably not. Maybe I'll meet a lot of old friends." Lin Yu said with a smile. "Do you have any friends besides me?" Chu Yunan asked back. "Violence can't solve problems, but it can be used to make friends, so I have quite a few friends in Haicheng." Lin Yu said with a smile. "Brother, can I not go? Or can we go separately?" When Chu Yunan heard this, he felt sick all over. Only then did he remember that the guy in front of him had beaten all the universities in Haicheng. He was not surprised when they were beaten up when they went to Haicheng this time. "Don't worry, this time the people are designated by the higher-ups, they won't do anything rash, they probably won't put sacks on us and beat us up." Lin Yu tried to comfort the other party. Chu Yunan looked as if he had lost all hope in life and was ready to be put in a sack. "When are you going?" 3 days at the latest." "What are you going to do now?" "You can't let me stay here with you and watch your brother practice, right?" Chu Yunan complained. Before the college entrance exam, those members of the Tianming cult will definitely take action and make a fortune before leaving. When Lin Yu heard the name in advance, the murderous intent in his eyes almost became real. "You really hold a grudge. It's been 5 years, and you're still hunting that person down. You will never be able to live in peace unless you kill these hyena-like bastards and scare them away." "Okay, you're right. Anyway, I can get contribution points." "I don't care." Chu Yunan shrugged his shoulders to show his agreement. "Lin Gu, how did you do on the test?" The test questions were too difficult, even more abnormal than the simulation. Han Pangpang ran to Lin Gu breathlessly and complained. "It's okay. It should be no problem to pass." Lin Gu replied casually. "The results will be out this afternoon. Do you want to stay and wait?" Han Pangpang asked. "No, I want to go home later and come back for the exam tomorrow." When Lin Gu saw the door open, he chose to leave directly. Wenqin Martial Arts School. "We will learn body movements today, so watch carefully." Mo Wenjun moved his feet left and right, and in Lin Ge's stunned eyes, he directly crossed a distance of more than 10 meters, appeared in front of him in an instant, and attacked him with a punch. Lin Gu did not dare to be careless and directly blocked with his punch while counterattacking. The opponent was clearly right in front of him, but no matter how hard he punched, he was always just a little short. After trying several times, he had no choice but to give up, took 2 steps back, and began to observe Mo Wenjun's steps carefully. Analysis. A set of geometric patterns appeared before his eyes, describing in detail the route of the technique and how it would change. Is this actually possible? Lin Ge started to get excited. He didn't expect the analysis to be so powerful. Not only could it analyze the techniques, but it could also explain the reasons for the changes. Fortunately, I was good at math before, otherwise I really wouldn't be able to understand these geometric patterns. Mo Wenjun was a little unhappy when he saw Lin Ge was distracted, and wanted to teach him a lesson. The fist whistled as he attacked the opponent again. At this moment, the opponent had completely changed in Lin Ge's eyes. The strength of his fists and the way he moved were completely exposed to him. This is a feint. His real intention is to attack my left chest. With the help of the analysis, Lin Ge reacted quickly, leaning to the right while gathering energy and blood in his left fist, preparing to counterattack. Not good. Mo Wenjun had a sharp eye and saw through Lin Ge's intention at a glance. He instantly changed his original punch into a shaking punch. Bang! The 2 fists collided, and Lin Ge was knocked back a few steps, with the blood in his body surging. Mo Wenjun also staggered and took another half step back, looking at Lin Ge with a complicated expression. I thought I had overestimated you, but I didn't expect that I still underestimated you. You have grasped the essence of this set of body movements after just watching it once. The teacher taught me well. Lin Ge took the opportunity to flatter him. Come again. Mo Wenjun smiled and rushed forward again. Mo Wenjun is worthy of being the chief instructor. He has his own way of teaching students. No matter how Lin Ge fought, his health value was always higher than Lin Ge's. He was neither much stronger than him to cause a crushing effect, nor was he on the same level as the opponent. While providing enough pressure, it also serves the purpose of feeding the opponent's moves. Lin Ge also learned a lot from the opponent. Although he could see through the opponent's moves, he could not stop the opponent from changing his moves temporarily. It was originally a charging punch, but when it was approaching the body, it turned into a shocking punch. It looked like a shocking punch, but it showed the power of an explosive punch. The fight between the two became more and more intense, and Lin Ge began to constantly absorb the opponent's practical skills to improve himself. Okay, that's enough for today. Mo Wenjun took a step back and announced that today was over. Although Lin Ge wanted to continue, he was too embarrassed to continue pestering the other party since the other party had spoken. You have an exam tomorrow, so go back home tonight and get some rest. Don't use up too much energy, or it will affect your performance tomorrow. Mo Wenjun said with a smile. Ah. Thank you for the reminder, instructor. Only then did Lin Ge understand the other party's intention. After a night's rest, Lin Ge felt better. Open the properties panel. Name, Lin Ge. Age, 16. Chi and blood value, 362. Spiritual power, 409. Talent, photographic memory, quick analysis. Kung Fu, Thunder Fist, incomplete, wind-following sword technique, 8 steps to chase the cicada. After looking at the attribute panel, Lin Ge was delighted. His Chi and HP value had reached over 300 without him noticing, which meant that he was already at a medium level among his peers. With his various skills, even some talented players can defeat him. The boxing and body movements are enough. The next step is to find a weapon that suits you. Because he didn't have a knife, Lin Ge didn't practice the Suifeng sword technique for the past 2 days. He remembered that during the competition, players were allowed to use weapons. Although the official would provide these, it was indeed inconvenient to practice without a knife. Lin Ge took out his cell phone and did a random search on the internet. In the advanced martial arts era, the things that were least in demand were weapons and elixirs, and he found a large number of them after searching. Lin Ge was dazzled by the choices and couldn't find a suitable one. Suifeng swordsmanship is known for its lightness and agility. These swords are too heavy. How come there is no Tang sword? When Lin Ge was choosing a sword, he had already thought of his goal, which was a Tang sword or a Japanese samurai sword. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it after searching for a long time, so I had no choice but to put it aside. When Lin Ge arrived at the school, she noticed something different. Everyone is wearing training suits today, which are specially designed for martial artists. Not only are they comfortable to wear, but they also do not affect personal performance. The only drawback is that they are ugly. It's okay if the person has a good figure, but if the person has a bad figure, it's really an eyesore. Lin Gu saw a person dressed like a ball, wearing training clothes. He looked exactly like the fat kung fu man he had seen in his previous life. But it wasn't over yet. The fat man, or the ball, was waving at him. Lin Gu, here, here. Lin Gu covered his face and had no choice but to walk over. Why are you dressed like this today, fatty? I haven't worn my training clothes for a long time. They're a little small. I'm wearing my dad's. Han Pangpang looked proud. Lin Gu instantly understood why he was so fat. It turned out that obesity was hereditary. Lindsay, where is your training suit? Han Pangpang asked. What training clothes? Lin Gu originally wanted to say that he didn't have it, but in order not to lose face, he just played dumb. You didn't buy it? Han Pangpang looked suspicious. How is it possible? My brother is Lin Yu, a major. Do you understand, major? Then why aren't you wearing any today? Do you believe me when I say I'm ugly? Letter. Han Pangpang gave a thumbs up to show that you are awesome. No more talking, the test will start soon, see you later. See you later. On the playground. Groups of students began to take the test under the guidance of their respective teachers. The test items are similar to those in the sports meet in the previous life. After weightlifting and long-distance running, we entered a classroom to test our reaction ability. After doing all this, all you have to do is wait for the results, which will determine who will proceed to the next round. Lin Gu, come with me. The head teacher Li Chang found Lin Gu and took him directly into the office. When Lin Gu walked into the office, he found that not only Li Chang, but also Bai Qiangwei, Wang Xing, and a group of other school leaders were there. Everyone's eyes turned to Lin Gu, full of scrutiny. Tell me the truth, what happened to your written test? Li Chang's face was as gloomy as water, and he asked, suppressing his anger. What happened to the written test? Lin Gu was a little confused. You still dare to ask what happened? The paper was handed in less than half an hour, and the answers were exactly the same as in the book, even the punctuation was correct. Do you take us for fools? Li Chang slammed the table and scolded directly. So, you suspect me of cheating? Lin Gu had already realized by now that the other party suspected him of cheating. Tell me who leaked the test questions to you. You couldn't have done this on your own. Li Chang barely suppressed his anger and asked in a deep voice. Lin Gu, I believe you are a good kid, but cheating can be a big deal or a small one. Now it's a school exam. Are you going to do the same thing during the college entrance exam? If you deceive yourself, you will always suffer the consequences. Now tell me the truth, I promise it won't affect your upcoming college entrance exam. The Dean of Studies also stood up and played the role of the good guy and the bad guy together with Li Chang. No one leaked the questions, I did it myself. Lin Gu explained with a wry smile. His gift of photographic memory allowed him to copy down the answers as if he was looking at them during the exam. To save trouble, he just copied them directly, and he never expected that the teacher at school would find clues from the punctuation marks. Do you think I would believe it? I have taught you for 3 years, don't I know your level? Li Chang sneered and interrupted Lin Gu directly. Lin Gu, as a warrior, I hope you can be brave and responsible. Taking shortcuts will only hurt others and yourself. White Rose also stepped forward to persuade. Principal, teacher, I know that no matter how I explain today, you won't believe it. How about this, you guys give me some random questions to test me, if I can answer them, then the matter is over, if I can't answer them, then you can punish me for cheating, how about that? Lin Gu did not feel angry or furious because of the other party's suspicion. I was mentally prepared before the exam. If a poor student suddenly got full marks, no one would believe that this was his true level. The reaction of these school leaders is also normal. Several teachers were stunned when they heard Lin Ge's words. They didn't expect the other party to say that. Wang Xing, the principal, smiled and said, since Lin has said so, let's give it a try. We can't deny a person based solely on his past performance. The principal is right. Who will go first? The dean asked. Several leaders looked at each other and then looked at Li Chang. I'll go first. Li Chang knew that whether he could continue to be the class teacher depended on this time. My HP is 300, and I have a hidden weapon with an effective range of 50 meters. The target is 1.8 meters tall and 80 meters away from me. Please tell me how I can hit him. After hearing this, several teachers around shook their heads. This question was not difficult and any student of normal level could answer it. Give me a piece of paper, please. Lin Gu said to Bai Qiangwei. He took the paper and pen, wrote and drew on it. In less than a minute, he stopped and handed it over. Li Chang took a glance, his expression became interesting, he sighed, and then handed it to the principal. There are a total of 3 sets of plans written above, which not only describe the angle and strength in detail, but also describe the position of hitting the opponent. After reading it, Wang Xing was a little surprised, and his originally calm expression became softer. No need to continue, you are very good. They originally suspected that Lin Gu was cheating, but now that thought was gone. This is like asking someone to throw an apple and watch the arc it travels, and they will directly deduce the law of universal gravitation for you. They are not on the same level at all. What about my grades? Lin Gu asked tentatively. It's effective. It will be announced later along with the results of the martial arts test. Wang Xing made the decision directly and announced that the matter was over. As soon as I left the office, Pang Pang Han ran over with a look of curiosity on his face. Lin Zi, what did Guang Tu Chang call you about? Nothing, just asking about my exam situation. That's it. What else? Lin Gu asked back. The test results are announced. No one shouted, and all the students rushed over and gathered in front of the big screen. F***CK, Lin Gu is actually number 1. Someone exclaimed. Lin Gu? Who is that? Which class? Everyone was very curious about this unfamiliar name. We are used to seeing the top students dominating the list all year round, but suddenly a dark horse emerges, which immediately arouses people's gossip and they all want to know who Lin Gu is. Lin Zi, this number 1 has the same name as you. Fatty Han patted Lin Ge's shoulder and said with a gossipy look on his face. Is it possible that that was me? Lin Gu was speechless. Come on, if you're first, I'll still recommend you to the program. Han Pang Pang also started a joke. However, this guy with the same name as you is really amazing. He got full marks in theoretical knowledge, but only got over 200 in the martial arts test. Han Pang Pang looked at the score on the screen with some surprise. This guy is really abnormal. He got full marks on the theory test. I have never seen a full mark in the 3 years since I enrolled. Another recommended big shot. There was a lot of discussion among the crowd, full of sourness. Chubby, I'm leaving first. See you tomorrow. After Lin Gu finished looking at the list, he said hello to Han Pang Pang and prepared to leave. The exam is over, why are you going home so early? Do you want to play games together? When Han Pang Pang heard that Lin Gu was leaving, he spoke quickly. No, I have a game tomorrow, I want to go back and rest early. Lin Gu waved his hand and turned to leave. Tomorrow's competition. Shit, you won't really be the first place, right? When Han Pang Pang looked at the list just now, he found that there was only one person named Lin Gu on it. When he heard him say this, he reacted instantly. You'll find out tomorrow. Lin Gu waved without looking back. After leaving school, seeing that it was still early, Lin Gu planned to go to the weapons market first. Without a suitable weapon, he always felt like something was missing. Xiao Gu, how did you do on the exam? A voice came from the side. Lin Gu knew without turning his head that this was his brother Lin Yu. Brother, why are you here? Let me take a look. I did okay on the test, but I only got first place in the overall score. Lin Gu said, pretending not to care. I heard that you've learned a lot of skills recently. Let's practice with them when we get home later. Lin Yu changed the subject. I'm not going back yet. I need to go to the weapons market. Lin Gu knew what he meant and refused directly. You want to buy weapons? Lin Yu was a little surprised. Well, I want to buy a knife, but unfortunately I can't find a suitable one online. Lin Gu told the truth helplessly. Knife? What kind of knife? Lin Yu was a little curious. Lin Gu told him about the style of the Tang sword. This kind of knife is indeed uncommon. It needs to be customized. Come with me to a place. After listening to this, Lin Yu frowned and thought for a moment, then spoke. The two took a taxi and drove around many corners before arriving at a remote alley. Before I even entered the door, I heard the sound of iron hammering coming from inside. Lin Gu immediately understood what Lin Yu was going to do. Is Master Wei here? Lin Yu knocked on the door and shouted. The door is not locked, come in. An old voice came from inside the door. Push the door open and go in. Lin Gu was instantly shocked by the scene inside. Various weapons were thrown randomly in the yard, and in the room next to it, a large furnace was burning. A white-haired old man, with his upper body naked, was holding a hammer and hitting something there. Hey, Xiao Yu, when did you come back? Master Wei looked very happy when he saw Lin Yu coming in. He put down the hammer in his hand and walked out. Mr. Wei, please forgive me for coming to visit you without permission. Lin Yu bowed respectfully to the old man. You kid, you're already alienated from me after not seeing me for a few years. Come inside and talk first. Master Wei pretended to be displeased. I dare not. Lin Yu waved his hand quickly. Who is this? Mr. Wei looked at Lin Gu and asked curiously. This is my brother Lin Gu. Xiao Gu, this is Master Wei, a master of weapon refining. Lin Yu introduced them to each other. Hello, Mr. Wei. Lin Gu bowed quickly. No wonder he looks so much like you, he's your brother. Tell me, what kind of weapon do you want to fight with this time? Mr. Wei asked with a smile. Nothing can be hidden from your eyes, Xiaoga. If you have any request, just tell Elder Wei directly. Lin Yu pulled Lin Gu to him. I want to make 2 knives, 1.5 meters long and 5 centimeters wide. Lin Gu said, taking out the drawings that had been prepared long ago and handing them over. Mr. Wei reached out to take it, took a single glance, and couldn't take his eyes off it. After a long while, he slowly said, Did you design this knife? No, I just happened to see it once and thought it would be suitable for me. Lin Gu didn't know whether there was a Tang sword in the world, and he didn't have the courage to say that he designed it. It's a very clever idea. Although it looks simple, it combines the characteristics of a sword and a knife. It's a very good design. Mr. Wei is indeed a master weapon refiner, and he can see the characteristics of the Tang sword at a glance. Mr. Wei, is this knife special? Lin Yu had never used a Tang Dao, so he had no idea what the characteristics of this sword were. It's very special. It's no exaggeration to say that it's a groundbreaking product. I believe it will soon become a mainstream weapon. The more Mr. Wei looked at it, the more amazed he felt, and he praised it generously. Mr. Wei, can you fight with this knife? Lin Gu asked tentatively. When Mr. Wei, who was originally smiling, heard this, his face turned serious and he said unhappily, Boy, you can doubt my character, but you can't question my craftsmanship. As long as the materials are sufficient, I can make it for you in 3 days, oh no, 2 days. What materials are needed for forging? Lin Gu didn't pay attention to the other party's expression changes, but asked directly. It depends on what kind of weapon you want. Different materials will produce different weapon characteristics. I want something sharp and tough enough. The reason why Lin Gu said this was because he thought of an anime he watched in his previous life. What man can resist the dual sword style? With a green scarf on your head, everyone will be a cool guy. Well, if that's all, then it's much easier. You can come and pick it up the day after tomorrow. After listening to this, Mr. Wei nodded in agreement. After discussing some details, Lin Yu let Lin Gu go home. After Lin Gu left, Lin Yu took out a few pieces of material from a storage ring and placed them in front of Mr. Wei. Golden crystals that can break through the power of the universe, and star sand. Old Wei was a little surprised when he looked at the materials Lin Yu took out. Please ask Elder Wei to use these materials when he helps my brother forge weapons. Lin Yu explained. Use these materials. Xiao Yu, do you know the value of these materials? Even if they can be used to make a 7th level weapon, do you really want to give them to your brother? Mr. Wei was afraid that the other party did not know the true value of these materials, so he tried to persuade them. I'm going to the secret realm of Haiqing now. I don't know when I'll be back. I'll leave these materials to him. Please help me make another weapon and give it to him when he's admitted to university. Lin Yu's eyes became deep and gentle. I understand what you mean. Okay, leave it to me. How could Mr. Wei not understand the meaning behind his words? The Haiqing secret realm is guarded by masters. If an ordinary warrior enters it, the mortality rate is extremely high, if not just a matter of life and death. He was worried that he would not be able to come back, so he made arrangements in advance to leave a legacy for Lin Ge. Xiao Yu, don't push yourself too hard. More haste, less speed. With your talent, it won't be a problem for you to become a grandmaster in 3 years at most. Why rush it? The two of them have a close relationship and speak casually. If you don't reach the grandmaster level, you'll always be just an ant. In recent years, alien invasions have become more and more frequent. I'm afraid I can't wait that long. Lin Yu sighed. He understood this truth, but he had no choice. Be careful. I'll wait for you to come back and drink with me. Seeing this, Mr. Wei stopped trying to persuade him and just patted him on the shoulder. The martial arts training ground of Fangqing No. 1 High School. Today is the last match for selecting participants in the league, which is also a practical competition. Based on the total scores of the literary and martial arts examinations, a total of 20 people were selected, among which Lin Ge was the most eye-catching. It's not because he ranks first overall, but because he is the only unfamiliar face. For those top students who have been on the top of the academic charts for many years, he is an unknown enemy or a dark horse that suddenly emerges. Is that Lin Ge? I heard that he scored full marks in theoretical knowledge, but his physical fitness test level was only average. Today is a practical competition. No matter how good your theoretical knowledge is, it will be useless. That's true. What a pity. The spectators around looked at the 20 people on the stage and began to guess who would make it. Today's competition will be a free-for-all. Each player will have one nameplate. Those who lose their nameplates will be eliminated, and the 10 players with the most nameplates will advance. The teacher in charge directly announced the rules of the competition. A free-for-all. No way, that's too casual. Many people expressed their dissatisfaction and protested. After listening to this, Lin Ge on the stage frowned and felt inexplicable pressure. The melee mode not only tests personal strength, but also tests on-the-spot performance. If you want to fight alone, unless you have the absolute strength to crush everyone else, anyone can be eliminated. Lin Ge looked at the other 19 people in the venue. Except for Yu Ai, he didn't recognize the others. Yu Ai also saw Lin Ge at this time. Although she was a little surprised that the other party was also shortlisted, she did not show it on the surface. The two looked at each other and saw each other's plan. Join forces. The game begins. Following the referee's command, everyone quickly ran away from the crowd. In the melee mode, anyone can be an opponent and anyone can be a teammate. None of the 20 people present were fools. They all understood this principle. No one took the initiative to take action. They all waited and watched the situation in the arena. Lu Lei, Zhang Yi, how about we join forces? A boy wearing gold-rimmed glasses spoke up. The two people whose names were called were stunned at first, then after a little thought they chose to agree. The three of them quickly came together. Seeing this, the others also looked for people they knew to form teams. Soon there were only 5 people left in the field without a team. Seeing this, Yu Ai didn't waste any words and walked straight towards Lin Ge. The other 3 also stood together in tacit understanding. Eliminate the 2-person team first. I don't know who shouted, but everyone's eyes were focused on Lin Ge and Yu Ai. We are ranked 1st and 4th respectively. Although we cannot beat all of you, I can guarantee one thing, whoever starts the fight first, we will defeat him even if we are eliminated. When Lin Ge saw everyone gathering around him, he shouted loudly. After hearing his words, the team, which was originally ready to move, stopped instantly. They could look down on Lin Ge. After all, the other party only scored full marks in theoretical knowledge, and there was still a big gap between them and them in the physical fitness test. But no one dares to underestimate Yu Ai, who is a real master and has long been ranked in the top 3 in the grade. If it weren't for the lack of theoretical knowledge, it would not be impossible for me to be the first. Although there are only 2 people in Lin Ge's group, They are both top-ranked in both literature and martial arts, and no one can guarantee that they can beat them. Don't listen to him. Let's go together and eliminate UAI first. Otherwise, who can be her opponent in a one-on-one fight? The men with glasses who spoke first, seeing that no one was taking any action, began to instigate others. Lin Gu glanced at him, then whispered to UAI beside him, "Let's attack together and eliminate him directly." "Good." UAI replied in a low voice. The two of them attacked in an instant like cheetahs and pounced directly on the men with glasses. UAI was worthy of being the best in actual combat. She punched the men with glasses directly, making him retreat repeatedly. Lin Gu was not to be outdone. While the opponent was still standing firm, he burst out with punches, and his speed suddenly increased by 1 level. Fist clenched, middle finger raised, Phoenix Eye Hammer. Ah! A scream echoed in the training ground. No one had expected this sudden change. Lin and Gu, who originally seemed to be the most vulnerable, actually took the initiative to attack and directly injured one person. Lin Gu did not take the opponent's nameplate. After one successful move, he retreated directly and stayed away from the crowd to avoid being surrounded by them. There are 2 people on the other side now, and 3 nameplates. Lin Gu and UAI stood at the edge and spoke softly. Everyone looked at him and then rushed towards the group of the men with glasses. The 5 3-person teams all rushed towards Lu Lei and Zhang Yi, not because they listened to Lin Gu. It's because the strength of these 2 people is about the same as theirs. Now it's 3 against 2. If they win, they can get 3 nameplates and successfully advance. This is much more economical than playing with Lin Gu. After all, there were only 2 people in Lin Ji's group. Even if they won by chance, they would only get 2 nameplates and would have to go back and fight other teams of 3. No one who has made it this far is a fool. Whether to play against 1 team or 2 teams, everyone knows how to choose. A melee broke out immediately. Everyone's strength is almost the same, and many of them are old rivals, so there is no testing at all, and the fight becomes intense as soon as it starts. Aren't we going up? UAI looked at Lin Gu beside her. Let them fight, and we'll take action after they're done. Lin Gu said nonchalantly, then found a corner and sat down to watch the show. There are 6 3-person teams on the field. If they want to determine the winner, at least half of the people must be eliminated. At that time, they only need to choose a team that has been defeated. The school teacher who was watching the game outside the stadium couldn't help but nod secretly when he saw this scene. With their vision, how could they not see Lin Ji's plan? This was a naked conspiracy. He first tells others that he is not easy to mess with, then he eliminates one person by surprise, leads everyone to follow his arrangement, and finally comes out to pick up the leftovers. Mr. Li, are these 2 students from your class? They are very smart. A teacher looked at Li Chang with a smile. Li Chang's face was also beaming at this time. His students not only entered the final round of the competition, but also had a high chance of getting a place in the league, which also brought him, the class teacher, some honor. Although he was very proud in his heart, he pretended to be embarrassed on the surface and said, "You are just trying to be clever. I don't know if you can get the nameplate and advance." The other teachers all smiled when they heard his words and ignored him. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that it was inevitable that Lin and Gu would qualify. The battle in the field soon came to an end, and many people had been eliminated. Now is the time to take action. Lin Gu had been observing the situation on the field, and when he saw that the result was about to be decided, he immediately called on UAI to take action. Don't you want to wait for them to decide the winner? UAI was stunned for a moment, but still chose to trust Lin Gu and rushed over with him. Their target was a team that had been devastated. 2 of their teammates had been eliminated, and he was the only one left struggling to hold on. Lin Gu doesn't care about morality. If he can launch a sneak attack, he will never fight head-on. Use the speed of your punch to quickly approach the opponent and punch him directly. Asshole, sneak attack. The man was dodging the attack in front of him, and never expected that someone would attack him from behind. He was punched in the back by Lin Gu. UAI didn't waste any words. She raised her long thigh and kicked the other person out. Lin Gu leaned forward, poked the opponent's acupuncture points a few times, then took out the nameplate from the opponent's body and quickly retreated. We have the nameplate, let's retreat. Lin Gu raised the nameplate in his hand. There were 3 in total. Stop him. Just when Lin Gu was about to retreat, the other 2 people became unhappy. They worked so hard and finally eliminated 2 opponents, and even lost one of their own teammates, but in the end, Lin Gu took the advantage. Who can tolerate this? Don't chase me. This nameplate is for you. Lin Gu said, throwing out an extra nameplate. The 2 men were stunned, then overjoyed, and quickly took the nameplate. Everybody is trying to advance and get a nameplate, so no one wants to go through the trouble of beating others, in case they fail. That's nice of you, bro. The person who got the nameplate gave Lin Gu a thumbs up, and his liking for Lin Gu increased greatly. In this game, the more nameplates you have, the better the rewards. Lin Ge's willingness to give up the extra nameplates was beyond everyone's expectations. Why did you give him the nameplate? UAIAI was a little confused. Our goal is to advance. There's no need to take extra risks just for a little reward. What's more, the other party is quite strong. Maybe we'll team up together after advancing. It's not worth it to offend them here. Lin Gu explained with a smile. As expected, he got full marks on the theory test. He's so cunning. UAIAI stuck out her tongue and gave Lin Gu a thumbs up. This is a tactic, what do you know? Lin Gu rolled his eyes. While the 2 were talking, the referee on the field had already announced the end of the game. Of the original team of 20 people, only 7 were left standing, including Lin Gu and the other 2. Looking at the bruised and battered faces of the people, Lin Ge's mouth twitched. It was indeed miserable. This competition is over, and the league qualifying spots will be announced below. The teacher in charge of hosting the competition glanced at everyone on the stage and began to announce the results of the competition. Lin Gu, UAIAI, Zhang Cheng, Wang Zi, Wu Shuai, Xie Daiyong, Wan Quan, please welcome them with applause. The presiding teacher counted the number of nameplates and read out 7 names. When UAIAI heard her name, she still felt it was unreal. From the time she came on stage until now, she had only made 2 moves and her clothes were not even dirty. Did she win? Since the league requires 10 participants, these teachers selected 3 replacements based on the performance of those who had just been eliminated. When everything was over, Lin Gu received his reward, which was a blood crystal, which was a reward from the school to the contestants. Do you want the blood essence? I'll sell it to you at a low price. Lin Gu looked at UAIAI beside him and asked. Why don't you use it yourself? UAIAI was a little surprised. I have a bad stomach and it's hard for me to digest food. Lin Gu felt so uncomfortable, but he couldn't say that he had eaten too much. How much? 8,000. Okay, I'll transfer the money to you later. UAIAI agreed without even thinking about it. Seeing that the other party was so straightforward, Lin Gu thought for a moment that he had asked for too little, but the words had already been spoken, and he was too embarrassed to go back on his word. He directly threw the blood sperm to UAIAI and then left the school. 2 days passed in a flash. Today is the day that Lin Gu and Mr. Wei agreed to pick up the knife. Mr. Wei, is this my knife? Lin Gu looked at the 2 tang swords placed in front of him, and his eyes were instantly glued to them, unable to move away. According to your requirements, it is not only sharp and light, but also very tough and strong. It won't break even if it is bent 90 degrees. As Mr. Wei spoke, he casually took out a tang sword, held both ends with his hands, and broke it with force. The tip of the knife formed an exaggerated arc. When the fingers were released, the tip of the knife bounced up, making a slight buzzing sound, but the blade did not deform at all. Nice knife. The more Lin Gu looked at it, the more satisfied he felt. You can try it. If there's anything that doesn't work for you, I'll help you fix it. Old Wei's face was full of pride. Being able to forge a satisfactory weapon was a rare and happy event for him. Lin Gu was not polite and directly pulled out another tang sword and began to practice the Sui Feng sword technique in the yard. In an instant, the yard was full of knife lights, and Lin Ge's figure became faster and faster, finally leaving a series of afterimages. What an exquisite sword technique. It matches this weapon perfectly. Old Wei looked at Lin Ge's knife skills and couldn't help but admire him. Lin Gu put away the knife, clasped his hands together and bowed to Mr. Wei to express his gratitude. Thank you, Mr. Wei. Don't thank me, I just took the money and did the job. Mr. Wei said with a smile, and suddenly slapped his forehead. I almost forgot the important matter. This is a storage ring. Although the space is not large, it is enough to hold 2 weapons. Take it. As he said that, he took out a ring from his pocket and handed it to Lin Gu. Storage ring. Lin Gu got excited when he heard it. When I was reading novels in my previous life, this was the thing I envied the most. I didn't expect that my dream would come true here. Your brother asked me to make this for you. There are some things in it that he left for you. My brother. Have you seen him these past 2 days? When Lin Gu heard that it was left to him by Lin Yu, he immediately took it seriously. Since the last time he came here to customize weapons, Lin Yu had separated from him and hadn't seen him for 2 days. Didn't he tell you? Mr. Wei looked at Lin Gu in confusion. Tell me what? Lin Gu asked quickly. Since he didn't tell you, then an old man like me can't tell you either. Mr. Wei shook his head, indicating that he didn't want to say anything. Seeing the other party's firm attitude, Lin Gu simply stopped asking questions, put the Tang sword into the ring, and left. After returning home, Lin Gu opened the storage ring and checked the contents. 2 porcelain bottles, a long box, a letter, and a thumb-sized crystal-like stone. What's this? Lin Gu took out a crystal-like stone and was a little curious. The item information instantly appeared before my eyes. Item name, Spirit Crystal. Function, quickly replenish spiritual energy and increase your own spiritual energy value. Spiritual Stone. The moment Lin Gu saw the item information, this word popped up in his mind. After all, it is the most common thing in novels about cultivating immortals. Why did my brother leave these things for me? Lin Gu put down the spirit crystal and turned his gaze back to the letter. I opened the envelope and found only a few words inside. Xiaoyu, I may not be able to accompany you to the college entrance examination, but I believe that with your ability, you can definitely be admitted to a good university. My brother has to leave for a while due to something. I look forward to the day when you get into college and become a warrior. Come on. Oh, by the way, the things in the box can be used after you become a warrior. What on earth happened? Why is it so mysterious? Lin Gu was very dissatisfied with Lin Yu's leaving without saying goodbye. Turning to look at the last item. This is a long box made of fine wood. Judging from its length, it is almost the same as his Tang sword. Lin Gu couldn't wait to open the box. A Tang sword as black as ink, with faint starlight flashing on it, appeared before him. Why is there another Tang sword? Lin Gu was a little confused. Just took it out. A chill surged into his body from the hilt of the knife, causing Lin Gu to shiver. He stroked the blade with his fingers and flicked it lightly. The blade trembled slightly and made a barely perceptible buzzing sound. Lin Gu waved a few times. Crack. There was a slight sound, followed by a crash, and the sound of something falling to the ground. Lin Gu looked at the cut furniture in front of him, his mind still a little confused. After a moment, Lin Gu finally reacted, his face full of pain. It's over, it's over. The coffee table I've used for years is gone just like that. He now finally understood what the last sentence in Lin Yu's letter meant. The knife in his hand is so sharp. It's simply not something he can handle now. Carefully putting the Tang sword back into the box, Lin Gu looked at the 3 swords. Suizu, Qiushui, Yanma, just right. Lin Gu named the 3 swords respectively. Shuezhou and Qiushui were ordinary Tang swords, and Yanma was the one Lin Yu left for him. After doing all this, Lin Gu put away the storage ring with satisfaction and began to clean up the damaged furniture. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, the date of the 4 Cities League has arrived. Spring Provincial Gymnasium. Why are there so many people? Lin Gu looked at the rows of troops and the flags they were holding with some surprise. There are more than 20 high schools in the 4 Cities League, and there are 200 contestants, including many highly anticipated players. UAIAI said in a low voice. Does our school have one? Lin Gu asked curiously. No. UAIAI replied straightforwardly. No way. Our Fangqing No. 1 high school is so miserable that there is not even a single seated player. Lin Gu was a little surprised. It's not just our number one high school, it's all 5 high schools in Fangcheng that don't have it. UAI was also a little depressed when she said this. Did you see that girl? Mo Zihan from Yuanqing number 1 high school, it is said that her qi and blood have reached the level of a warrior. The reason she didn't break through is because of the college entrance examination. And the little fat guy on the left, Ai Xing'an, the second tallest warrior in the dungeon, has super strong defense. It is said that even a first-level warrior cannot break his defense. The tall and thin man on the east side is Sun Tao, the top warrior in Tiancheng. He is very skilled in using a spear and has defeated a first-level warrior before. UAI kept introducing things to Lin Gu, which made Lin Gu feel overwhelmed. I thought I had made great progress recently and was almost catching up with UAI, but I didn't expect that after leaving Fangcheng, they would not even be qualified for ranking. Is our Fangcheng so miserable? Lin Gu asked in a low voice. Except for your brother's class, our Fangcheng has basically been at the bottom in recent years. Although UAI was unwilling, she still told the truth. By the way, how do you know so much? Lin Gu looked at UAI with some curiosity. I specifically researched this before joining the league, and the teacher also gave us information about how to avoid these people when we meet them, and not to get into conflict with them. UAI explained. How come I don't know? Lin Gu was shocked. Why didn't he have such important information? Didn't you read the message sent in the group? UAI looked at Lin Gu puzzledly. Ahem, I blocked it. Lin Gu coughed twice awkwardly. The teacher pulled the 10 of them into a small group, where a group of people were chatting away. Lin Gu thought there were too many messages, so he blocked them directly. Unexpectedly, he missed out on such important information. The competition is based on a point system. The individual points are not many, so the main thing is the team competition. As long as we make it to the semifinals, we have a chance to qualify. Xie Dayong next to him came over and said, I heard that in this competition, in addition to the top 10 in the individual competition being guaranteed admission, the top 5 schools in the team competition can also get 1 to 5 additional places. Wu Shuai also came over. Stop talking, it's our turn now. The team was led by Bai Qiangwei, who interrupted everyone's discussion and led everyone to the stage. UAI is the team captain for this competition, and Lin Gu is the vice captain. After entering the competition venue, we will follow their arrangements. White Rose turned her head and said to everyone. Although UAI looks weak, her actual fighting power is the strongest among everyone. The others have no objection to her being appointed as the captain. As for Lin Gu, after these few days of contact, everyone has already had a deep understanding of him. This is an old Yin. Although his strength doesn't seem to be that good, when it comes to Yin people, he definitely crushes everyone present. The competition venue is a modified artificial hill. At the foot of the hill is a square with a number of arenas built specifically for individual competitions. During the competition, teachers are not allowed to enter and students are left to their own devices. Please invite representatives from each school to come on stage and draw lots. Teacher, can we team up with other schools in the team competition? Lin Gu took advantage of the gap to ask Bai Qiangwei. Other schools? You mean? White Rose was a little confused. They are from number 2 and number 3 middle schools. Lin Gu pursed his lips and looked towards Fangcheng number 2 middle school and number 3 middle school. Theoretically there are no restrictions. What do you want to do? Bai Qiangwei vaguely guessed Lin Ji's thoughts. Hee, our Fangcheng can't always be at the bottom, right? Lin Gu chuckled. Lin Gu, don't mess around. This is a school-based competition. If you rashly join forces with other schools, you may be stabbed in the back. White Rose said seriously. Teacher, don't worry. I won't do anything rash. Lin Gu immediately gave Bai Qiangwei a promise, but in her heart she was thinking about the feasibility of the plan. Just when Bai Qiangwei was about to continue asking questions, UAI came back. What's wrong? Why do you look so bad? When everyone saw that UAI looked unhappy, they all gathered around. Our opponent is Amaji High School. UAI spread out her palm, revealing the number inside. When everyone heard this, their faces turned ugly. Tiancheng No. 1 High School is the recognized seed school in this league. All the contestants have a health value of more than 400. Except for Yuanqing No. 1 High School, it can be said that no other school can compete. The match is a round-robin match. Each player can play up to 3 games. The loser will be eliminated. The opponent has a seeded player, Sun Tao, who has at least 1 game locked in. There is a high possibility that we will lose the match. UAIAI said in a heavy tone. Are you sure you can handle anyone other than Sun Tao? Lin Gu suddenly asked. It should be no problem, do you have any idea? Everyone looked at Lin Gu with a glimmer of hope in their eyes. Through the contact during this period, everyone was very impressed by Lin Ge's intelligence. He could use all kinds of tricks at will, and when confronted, he would lose inexplicably. Everyone privately nicknamed him God of War. We in Fangqing have always been at the bottom. They may not care about us. It is probably impossible for us to win, but we can narrow the gap and prevent the opponent from taking too many points from us. Lin Gu read the rules of the competition carefully and already had a plan in mind. What are you going to do? UAIAI asked everyone what was in their hearts. The order of the matches is fixed, which means that once you sign up, you can't change it midway. Wu Shuai, you'll be the first to go up. Show your weakness to the enemy first. I don't ask you to win, just try to consume the opponent as much as possible. You are the second Lao Yu. Deal with your opponent as quickly as possible and focus on dealing with the second opponent. The same goes for you. It doesn't matter if you can't win. Try to drain their energy and create opportunities for your teammates behind you. Lin Gu began to arrange the order of battle. What if we meet Sun Tao in the first game? Someone raised questions. No, there's no point in using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Sun Tao will definitely be in the middle or at the end. He won't be the first one. Lin Gu said with certainty. You want to hit the opponent out of position. UAIAI looked at the order of appearance assigned by Lin Gu and quickly understood his intention. Even if the first player of the opponent's team is not Sun Tao, he will definitely be a stronger player in the team, who can be used to take the lead and win the first victory. However, Lin Ge's arrangement was exactly the opposite. The first person to go up was the teammate with relatively weaker strength in their team. To put it simply, it means going up and giving away your life, using the round-robin rules to consume the opponent, and then taking him down. A weaker player was sent out to the middle position to consume Sun Tao's number of shots. In the end, the stronger one will be in the back, and even if he can't win in a one-on-one situation, he can at least get 3 for 2. In this way, the points the other party gets from them will be greatly reduced. Isn't this too risky? What if you guess wrong? If Sun Tao is the first to appear, we will most likely be wiped out. Cheng Zhang was a little worried. We can't beat them in the first place, so we can only take a gamble now. As long as we don't fall too far behind in the round-robin battle, we'll still have a chance to catch up later. If we fall behind here, we won't be able to fight in the team battle later. How could Lin Gu not understand this? However, their overall strength was far inferior to that of the opponent, so they could only take an unconventional approach. Everyone votes, and if more than half of the people vote, we will proceed according to Lin Ge's plan. Seeing that everyone was hesitating, UAIAI spoke up and asked everyone to vote by raising their hands. I agree. I abstain. I agree. I agree. 6 votes in favor, 3 abstentions, and 1 vote against. Let's go with Lin Ge's plan. When the voting results came out, UAIAI immediately made the final decision. Hand in the list. Lin Gu compared the other party's information, wrote and drew on paper, and finally drew up a sequence of appearance and gave it to UAIAI. Good. UAIAI took the list, glanced at it, and walked straight to the stage. At the same time, a representative from Tiancheng High School on the other side also came up. The two looked at each other, then quickly looked away and handed over the lists in their hands. The referee in charge of this match took a look at the list and said loudly, in the first round of the A zone, Tiancheng No. 1 High School will compete against Fangqing No. 1 High School. Please welcome the contestants to the stage. Wu Shuai was the first to go on stage and glanced at Lin Gu as he passed by. Remember, focus on consumption, don't fight head-on. Lin Gu is like a military strategist, constantly reminding his teammates of things to pay attention to. A win earns 2 points. Our goal this time is to keep the difference within 10 points. Don't be impulsive. Okay Lin Gu, why do I feel like you're more nagging than my mom now? Wan Quan joked with a smile. Stop talking, the game is about to start. UAI interrupted everyone's conversation and stared at the top of the ring, or to be exact, the opposing contestant's seat. Her fingers kept clenching and unclenching, revealing her inner uneasiness. If Lin Gu guessed wrong, they would most likely be badly defeated by the other side, and how would they be able to face back to school? This matchup will be between Anlu from Tiancheng High School and Wu Shuai from Fangcheng High School. Please prepare as soon as possible. When UAI and others heard the other contestant's name, they all breathed a sigh of relief. It's Anlu, the vice-captain of Tiancheng No. 1 High School. His strength is second only to Sun Tao. Lin Gu really guessed it right. Men proposes, God disposes. Now it all depends on Wu Shuai's performance. Lin Gu smiled but didn't show much excitement. On the ring. Isn't the strongest one among you the one called UAI? Why didn't she come up? Anlu asked Wu Shuai puzzledly. Didn't Sun Tao also not play? Wu Shuai asked back. He doesn't even need to fight you. Anlu said disdainfully. Same here. Wu Shuai replied indifferently. You're quite good at blowing with your mouth. I hope I won't beat you up and make you cry and look for your mother later. What are you looking for? Wu Shuai pretended not to hear clearly. Looking for mom. Anlu replied subconsciously. You are already an adult, and you still look for your mother in the competition. Aren't you ashamed? You. Contestants, greet each other and get ready to begin. The referee signaled the two men to greet each other. The two of them tacitly stopped their verbal attacks, clasped their hands together, and bowed to each other. When Wu Shuai stood up, he felt a strong wind blowing towards him. Anlu's 5 fingers formed into a tiger claw shape and grabbed directly at his chest. Tiger fist. Wu Shuai recognized the opponent's moves and immediately took a few steps back to avoid them. Anlu refused to give in and kept attacking with one move after another, like an endless wave. Wu Shuai didn't dare to take it head-on. He knew what his purpose was, so he didn't fight back at all, but just relied on his body skills to keep moving. He has the best physical skills among Fangcheng No. 1 High School players, which is why Lin Gu let him play first. Anlu's moves failed several times in a row, and he felt a little embarrassed, so he shouted angrily, "Don't run if you dare." Childish. Wu Shuai stopped and replied. Although Anlu was angry, he really couldn't do anything to him for the time being, so he could only grit his teeth and continue attacking. There were bursts of boos from the audience. This is a player from Tiancheng No. 1 High School. Seeing Wu Shuai dodging all the time, he started to mock him. After chasing for a while, the referee couldn't bear it anymore and said directly, "Please fight back, Wu Shuai, or I will judge you as a failure." Wu Shuai was dissatisfied when he heard this, but he also knew that it was not a solution to continue like this. The energy and blood in his body boiled, gathering strength in his fists. Hung fist. The moves are wild and open, defense is abandoned, and every move is a life-and-death fight. Anlu was startled by the other party's sudden change, and immediately mobilized his energy and blood to resist. Wu Shuai seemed like a tireless machine, delivering one punch after another. 1 minute later. I give up. Wu Shuai wiped the sweat from his face and raised his hand to admit defeat. This made Anlu, who was originally preparing to fight back, so depressed that he almost vomited blood. Good job. When Wu Shuai stepped down from the ring, everyone rushed over to him, handing him towels and water, making it seem like he was the winner. Old you, it's up to you now. Lin Gu looked at UAI. UAI nodded and strode onto the stage. Without any unnecessary nonsense, after the greeting, he launched a fierce attack. It's terrible. Anlu realized something was wrong after just one move. When I was fighting against Wu Shuai just now, I consumed too much energy and blood, and I didn't recover much in such a short time. UAI didn't care what he thought and directly used close combat skills, not giving the other party any chance to escape. After a few hard blows, UAIAI took advantage of the opponent's breathing gap and hit him directly in the chest with an elbow. Ah! And Lu let out a scream and fell to the ground. This scene shocked everyone in Tiancheng No. 1 High School. Even Sun Tao, who had not paid much attention to the competition, couldn't help but look at UAIAI a few more times. The opposing team's second player came up soon. UAIAI followed suit, fighting head-on without regard for the cost. The opponent's strength was already far behind hers, so she was quickly eliminated. The third one follows closely. At this time, UAIAI's energy and blood had been almost exhausted, and it was impossible for her to defeat the opponent. But she still remembered what Lin Ge said: even if she couldn't beat the opponent, she had to consume some energy to create opportunities for the teammates behind her. He suppressed the feeling of weakness and tried to engage in close combat with the opponent. The opponent obviously knew how powerful her fighting skills were, so he didn't confront her head-on, but kept circling around her. The opponent is wasting time like this, there is no way to consume it. Wan Quan, Xie Dayong, and others in the stands were anxious. At this moment, UAIAI on the field made a jaw-dropping move. She simply ignored the other party, sat down on the ground, and began to regulate her qi and blood. Clever. When Lin Ge saw this scene, he couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. If it were him, he would probably do the same. The guy from Tiancheng High School obviously didn't expect UAIAI to do this, which was tantamount to giving up the initiative to attack, and leaving the goal wide open. You are really looking for death. Li Jieluan sneered and attacked UAIAI directly from behind. But when he was about to hit UAIAI, she just lay down and his whip kick passed over her nose. Then there was a scream. Li Jieluan covered his thighs with his hands and staggered backwards. UAIAI clenched her fist, with a bulge on her middle finger, Phoenix Eye Hammer. He stood up from the ground with a somersault, and his fists were as fast as lightning, hitting Li Jieluan all over the body. UAIAI Sheng. When the referee saw that Li Jieluan had lost his ability to move, he announced the result directly. Oh. Well done, Captain. You did a great job. Unlike Fangcheng No. 1 High School, Tiancheng No. 1 High School is filled with gloom and sadness. The opponent who was supposed to be easily defeated was actually wiped out in one fell swoop. 4 games, only 1 win. I underestimated the other party. It's my fault. Sun Tao stood up and bowed to everyone to apologize. Captain, this is not your fault. We are just not as skilled as you. Aunt Lu's self-blaming consolation. It's my turn next time. I'll help you get back what you lost. Sun Tao nodded, picked up his spear and strode onto the stage. I give up. Give up. Me too. There were 3 consecutive sounds, which confused the referee on the side. After a long time, the referee finally reacted and said to Sun Tao, "Student, you won, you can go down now." Sun Tao was also stunned. He had just been on stage for less than 5 seconds, and he had already won. He walked off the stage inexplicably, looking at his teammates' happy faces. He always felt that something was wrong. The 8th match, Xie Dayong vs Zhang Lan. The score is now 4-3, with Fangcheng trailing by 1 game. Xie Dayong's strength is second only to UAIAI, and he is considered to be the stronger among them. The girl on the opposite side was obviously not as strong as him, and she was suppressed in just 1 encounter. Xie Dayong was also a ruthless man. He had no intention of showing any mercy to women. He threw punch after punch, all at the opponent's face. For a girl, being beaten is not scary, but being disfigured is something unacceptable. Xie Dayong also seized on this point and fought recklessly. I give up. Zhang Lan glared at Xie Dayong fiercely and chose to admit defeat. The 2 sides now have the same record, and the remaining players are almost the same in strength, so it will soon be Lin Ge's turn to play. The 14th match, Lin Ge vs Chu Jian. In order to hide their strength, Lin Ge and his team did not choose to use weapons at all. I don't know if the other party had the same idea. Except for Sun Tao, no one used weapons. The captain of your Fangcheng No. 1 High School is really filthy. He's fighting a round-robin battle and even resorted to tactics. Chu Jian had just played a game and knew he had no chance of winning this one, so he started complaining. Lin Ge was speechless for a while, and kept reminding himself in his heart that he was scolding UAI, not himself. The game begins. Punch. Following the referee's order, Lin Gu rushed to the opponent like a cheetah. A pair of iron fists rushed straight to the opponent's face. Chu Jian raised his arm to block. Lin Gu changed his fist into a palm and smashed it down directly, with the base of his palm hitting the opponent's chest. Chu Jian was beaten back a few steps, and the blood in his body surged. Before he could gain a firm foothold, Lin Gu approached him again, clenching his fists with his middle finger raised. Phoenix Eye Hammer. Press on various acupuncture points on the other person's body several times in a row. Chu Jian slowly fell to the ground. Lin Gu wins. Before the others could react to what was happening, the game was already over. Sun Tao, who was originally watching the ring, stood up suddenly when he saw this scene, staring at Lin Gu. Others didn't notice it, but he saw it clearly. At that moment, Lin Gu pressed 4 acupoints of Chu Jian in succession. His technique is extremely exquisite, even more skillful than UAI's. Isn't it said that he is only rich in theoretical knowledge? Why is his practical skill so strong? Sun Tao looked at the people around him. No one dared to answer. At first, they didn't pay any attention to Lin Gu because the information they got showed that the other party only scored full marks in the theoretical test and did not mention how strong his combat ability was. But unexpectedly, it was this humble, liberal arts student who easily defeated one of them. Just as they were discussing Lin Gu, Chu Jian was carried down. Because the acupuncture points on his body were blocked, he had difficulty even standing up for a short period of time. When does the team competition start? Sun Tao suddenly asked. Tomorrow morning. Although Enlu didn't know why he asked this, he still answered truthfully. We fell into a trap. Sun Tao's face turned extremely ugly. Who said it wasn't true? The opponent's tactics are too dirty. A team member nearby echoed. That's not what I'm talking about. They're trying to use this as an opportunity to make us lose the team game. They thought the other side was playing Tianji's horse racing, but the other side was actually playing cutting off the firewood from under the pot. After several games, all of their teammates were injured, while Fangqing Yigao, apart from a large consumption of energy and blood, suffered no losses at all. In this way, after a night of rest, they can easily recover their combat effectiveness. On the other hand, even if they recover their qi and blood, their combat effectiveness will not reach the peak level. The more Sun Tao thought about it, the more frightened he felt. What a brilliant plan. I have fallen into their trap without realizing it. With this thought in mind, Sun Tao looked at the few people who had not yet appeared. When you compete later, win if you can, and admit defeat if you can't. Don't get hurt again. Brother Tao, why is this? The other team is clearly trying to wear us down. Their goal is not to play a round-robin match, but to face the team competition tomorrow. If too many of us get injured, we won't be able to face other teams tomorrow. When Sun Tao said this, he felt very upset. He had never felt so exhausted when fighting with warriors. As expected, the teammates who went on stage were no match for Lin Gu, and each of them was eliminated by acupuncture. Lin Ji's attack was very measured. He made you lose the ability to move without hurting you too badly, which made Sun Tao feel particularly aggrieved. After 3 games, Lin Gu stepped down. Lin Gu, you are too pretentious. You are so strong, but you keep saying you can't fight. That's right, we thought you were just smart, but I didn't expect you to be stronger than me. I think that acupressure move I made just now was even better than the captain's. What do you think? He taught me how to press acupoints. Isn't it normal that he's better than me? UAI shrugged, indicating that she was not as good as Lin Gu. Everyone looked at Lin Gu with a hint of admiration in their eyes. They are now leading the opponent 9-6. The opponent has only 1 person left, while they still have 4. This is already a sure win, and everyone is extremely excited. This was a seeded team that was favored by the outside world, but they were defeated by them in the round-robin match. If this news got out, it would definitely shock a lot of people. However, all this is Lin Ji's credit. Whether it is the opponent's tactics or the strength he showed, it all shows his importance. There was dead silence in the broadcast room outside the stadium. Everyone looked as if they had seen a ghost. The Tiancheng No. 1 high school team they had favored before the game actually suffered a huge upset. Even the teacher in charge of Amaji High School was a little dumbfounded. It's not that he had never thought about losing, but in his opinion, the only loss would be to Yuanqing High School. After all, the other side had the talented player Mo Zihan, but who would have thought that they would lose to the unknown Fangqing No. 1 High School in the round-robin match? Teacher Bai, your Fangqing No. 1 High School is so well hidden. We didn't even get any news about such a talented student. The confidentiality work is so good. A fat middle-aged man looked at Bai Qiangwei with a wry smile. Although they were outside the court, they could see everything going on inside clearly, from Lin Gu arranging the order of appearance to him instructing his teammates on tactics. They saw it all. It's easy to get thousands of soldiers, but it's hard to get a general. This Lin Gu is simply a natural-born general. No one else can compete with him. Our Jiangnan Military Academy wants him. A middle-aged man in military uniform directly announced his thoughts. I like this guy, too. We at Haicheng University also need such talents. Another middle-aged man stood up with a smile. Why are you arguing? This is our capital university, and only we can give him the best resources. Representatives from the capital's universities were not to be outdone. Seeing these representatives from prestigious schools arguing over Lin Gu like old ladies buying vegetables at a market, Bai Qiangwei smiled. As a teacher, what could be more worthy of pride than teaching an excellent student? I think it's a bit too early for you to draw conclusions now. The league has just started, and there are still team and individual competitions to come. Aren't you afraid that it's just a flash in the pan? The person who spoke was an old man. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone looked at each other and stopped arguing tacitly. Teacher Bai, please give me a copy of this student's information. The representative of Haicheng University quietly walked up to Bai Qiangwei and spoke in a low voice. Bai Qiangwei was stunned for a moment, then she understood the other party's intention. At this moment, her cell phone suddenly vibrated twice. When she opened it, she saw that it was a representative from Capital University, who was also asking her for Lin Ge's information. These guys. Bai Qiangwei found it a little funny. On the surface, everyone was waiting for Lin Ge's next performance, but secretly, they all started to take action. Bai Qiangwei also knew that this was Lin Ge's opportunity, so she didn't delay and called the principal Wang Xing directly to tell him what had happened. Not long after, a document was sent to her mobile phone. On the ring, the game is over. As expected, Fangqing No. 1 High School became the biggest dark horse of this session, defeating Tiancheng No. 1 High School and ranking 4th in total points. The first place is Yuanqing First High School. The second place is the second highest in the dungeon. The third place is Dungeon 1 High. Looking at the points ranking on the big screen, many people looked in the direction of Lin Gu and the others. It will be difficult to fight next. We are likely to be targeted. Lin Gu noticed the eyes around him and frowned. It's not our fault. Who knew Tiancheng No. 1 High School was so weak? We were just trying to get some points, but we won by accident. Xie Dayong looked very proud. Dayong, don't talk nonsense. Lin Gu quickly spoke out to stop him, but unfortunately he was a step too late. Humph. You will know tomorrow whether we are weak or not. A cold snort came from the side. It was the team from Tiancheng No. 1 High School. Lin Gu cursed inwardly, bad luck. Xie Dayong is such an idiot, doesn't he know his own worth? He started to mock after winning a game by chance. This has definitely offended Tiancheng No. 1 High School. Sun Tao didn't say anything, but just looked at Yuai calmly and asked, the tactics are very good. Thank you. If you weren't so strong, we wouldn't have used this method to cheat. Yuai responded politely. Sun Tao nodded to a few people, then led them away without even looking at Xie Dayong. Lao Yu, come with me to the second high school's base later. Lin Gu watched Sun Tao and others leave before speaking. Go to the second high school station. What are you going to do? Yuai was a little confused. You'll know when you get there. Lin Gu didn't want to explain his plan here, so he changed the subject. Everyone is exhausted after a day's work. Go back and rest early to prepare for tomorrow's team competition. After everyone left, Lin Gu took Yuai directly to the second high school's headquarters. Ding ding ding. Who is it? Hello, I'm UAIAI from Fangqing No. 1 High School. At Lin Ge's suggestion, UAIAI revealed her identity. The air seemed to stagnate for a moment, and then hurried footsteps were heard from inside. The door opened and a young man walked out. You looking for me? Can we go in and talk? Please. When Lin Gu and his partner walked into the room, they noticed that all the members of the second high school were gathered there, looking at them warily. I understood it. Now you can tell me what you want from me. The captain of Fangqing No. 2 High School, named Lu Qing, is a serious young man. UAIAI looked at Lin Gu. I heard that you lost to Yuanqing Second High School this time. Lin Gu smiled and did not directly state the purpose of the trip, but asked casually. What do you mean? Are you here to laugh at us? Lu Qing was a little angry. You guys should have watched today's battle, right? Lin Gu pointed to a corner of the information that they had covered up. What do you want to say? Lu Qing was a little impatient. Fangqing has been at the bottom of the league for years, while the other 3 cities have produced many talented people. If nothing unexpected happens, we will still be at the bottom this year. If you are just here to talk nonsense, please leave. Lu Qing immediately ordered them to leave. I have a way to get you out. Lin Gu said slowly. Just you. Lu Qing looked Lin Gu up and down. If you look at today's standings, you should know that we successfully defeated Amaji High School. If you cooperate with us, I can't guarantee anything else, but there will be no problem in qualifying. Lin Gu smiled confidently. How do you want to cooperate? Lu Qing certainly knew about their victory over Tiancheng No. 1 High School. He was just discussing it, but he didn't expect Lin Gu and the others to come. Unite all the high schools in Fangqing and deal with the teams from the other 3 cities first. Then we can each rely on our own abilities. Lin Gu finally showed his fangs. This is impossible. The 5 high schools in Fangqing have no intersection at all on weekdays. If we force a union, who can guarantee that we won't stab you in the back? Lu Qing pointed out the hidden dangers directly. Leave these matters to me. You just need to tell me whether you agree to join us or not. Lin Gu stared at Lu Qing and asked. I won't agree unless you can convince me. Lu Qing's attitude was very firm. In terms of strength alone, Yuanqing No. 1 High School is the strongest, followed by Tiancheng No. 1 Middle School. If we meet them in a team competition, we alone will have no chance of winning. If we join forces, we can fight even the strongest Yuanqing No. 1 Middle School. It will be a win for both of us if we work together. Lin Gu explains the pros and cons. I still say the same thing, how can you guarantee that no one will stab you in the back? That depends on whether you want to qualify. Let me be frank. If anyone betrays us during the team formation, all of us in the first high school will eliminate them at all costs. When Lin Gu said this, his eyes became extremely sharp. What if I say no? Lu Qing felt that Lin Gu was a little overbearing and wanted to bargain. Hee, you already know the plan. If you refuse, then I'm sorry. In the team competition, we will be the first to eliminate you. Lin Gu laughed sinisterly twice. How dare you threaten me? Lu Qing was furious, and his teammates around him also glared at him. That's right. If you don't agree, then we will eliminate you and work with those who agree. Lin Gu admitted it straightforwardly. The atmosphere immediately became tense. UAIAI on the side pulled Lin Ge's clothes, signaling him not to be so aggressive. At this moment, Lin Gu suddenly laughed. Don't be nervous, I was just joking with you. If you agree to cooperate, once you qualify, our Fangqing No. 1 High School is willing to give you a guaranteed admission spot. As soon as these words were spoken, the breathing of the people around them became noticeably faster. You are just a student. How can you decide who gets the quota? Although Lu Qing was excited, he had not lost his basic rationality. Our Fangqing has been at the bottom of the list for many years, and we have never received a recommendation quota. If we can successfully qualify this time, as a hero, the school will definitely reward me with a recommendation quota. I am willing to give mine to you. Lin Gu began to paint a rosy picture for them. His words were very clever. He only said that he would give the other party a place after they successfully qualified, instead of giving them a place. As for whether it was a top prestigious school or a key university, wouldn't it be up to them to decide at that time? If you advance to the top 10 in the 4 cities league, you will receive generous rewards, and if you advance to the top 5, you will be admitted to key universities. As long as they qualify for the team competition, they will be in the top 10. The final ranking will be based on the total points. They were previously ranked 4th in points. As long as they are not eliminated first in the team competition, there will be no pressure to be in the top 10. The reason why Lin Ge sought cooperation from others was because he was worried that he would be targeted, so he wanted to be prepared. What do you say? Lu Qing was obviously tempted and looked at his other teammates. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. Agree. The members of Fangqing No. 2 High School quickly voted and decided to cooperate with Lin Ge and his team. It's been a pleasure working with you. Lin Ge smiled and stretched out her hand. I hope you don't lie to us, otherwise. Lu Qing originally wanted to threaten the other party, but he found that it seemed to have no convincing effect, so he could only sigh helplessly. Lin Ge held Lu Qing's hand and pulled him towards her. Lu Qing was caught off guard and was dragged by Lin Ge, causing him to stagger. Just as he was about to get angry, he heard what he said. Come on, accompany us to the 3rd high school. Me too. Of course, otherwise how could they believe that you are allies? Lin Ge said righteously. At this moment, Lu Qing felt as if he was on a pirate ship and was forced to join. Lin Ge and the other 2 left the 2nd High Court and used the same method to convince the 3rd High Court and the 4th High Court. The headquarters of Fangqing No. 5 High School. Brother, do I have any choice if you do this? Zhao Weijie, the captain of the 5th High School, looked at the 5 people standing in the room with a sad face. Brother, think positively, just think of it as hugging someone's thigh. Captain Zhang Yu of the 4th High School looked at Zhao Weijie with sympathy. Since everyone has agreed, I will start to arrange the next plan. Let me be frank with you. If anyone fails to deliver, don't blame me for settling the score later. Lin Ge naturally took on the role of military advisor. Tomorrow's team competition will be held in Xiangshan. We will definitely be disrupted by then. Look here and here. Tell everyone to gather at these places after entering. Don't easily clash with other teams, gather together first, and when the number of people is about the same, act together. Lin Ge pointed to a map and began to plan tactics. What if we encounter the enemy before we reunite? Someone raised questions. If you can beat them, fight them. If you can't, run away. Don't let anyone know that we in Fangqing have united together. Lin Ge reminded everyone again. While Lin Ge and his friends were discussing the plan, they didn't know that a group of leaders outside the venue were watching with great interest. This kid is really good at taking advantage of the situation. He knows how to unite the weak to fight against the strong enemy. He is quite smart. A leader looked at the people around him with a smile. Zhang Yang, the representative of Fangqing, felt hot on his face. It was fine if this kind of thing was done in private, but it was indeed a bit unfair for someone like Lin Ge to recruit people to join the gang in such a high-profile manner. Governor, isn't it unfair to the other teams? The person who spoke was Li Lin, the representative of Tiancheng. Although this is a little unfair, it is within the rules and does not violate any regulations. You and Tiancheng can also unite. I promise I will not object. Although Zhang Yang was a little embarrassed, since it concerned the honor of Fangqing, how could he let such a good opportunity to turn things around slip away from him? What do you two say? Governor Su Guangqi looked at the other 2 representatives. Although it does not violate the rules, it does lose the original intention of testing students, which is indeed a bit inappropriate. The Yuanqing representative also said no. What about you, Lao Fan? What do you think? Su Guangqi looked at the underground city representative and asked. Let the children solve their own problems. Whether they fight together or alone, it is their own decision. If they really go to the battlefield, the aliens will not care about these things. The dungeon representative Fan Cho said with a smile. Old Fan, what you said is wrong. The purpose of holding the league is to see the level of students in each city, not to see people bullying the minority. If it turns into a group fight, how can we observe the true level of the students? Tiancheng representative Li Lin said dissatisfiedly. Li Lin, what do you mean by that? Doesn't wisdom mean the same as a student's level? I think this kid is good. He knows how to judge the situation. If he just relies on force, he is a reckless man. Fangqing representative Zhang Yang immediately began to refute. Seeing that the two were about to quarrel again, Governor Su Guangqi coughed lightly and said, "Ahem, both of you have a point. How about this? Let's set up a ban at the entrance of Xiangshan Mountain. Everyone who enters will hide their original appearance. This way, we can restrict them without hindering them. Your Excellency the Governor is wise." Tiancheng representative Li Lin immediately flattered him. Zhang Yang wanted to fight for it again, but Fan Chou held him back, telling him to stop. "Since you all have no objections, then it's settled. I'll make arrangements later." Su Guangqi took out his cell phone and said a few words into it in front of everyone. On the other side, Lin Gu finished discussing with everyone and was happily thinking about how to get points tomorrow. He had no idea that his every move was being seen clearly by others. "Lin Gu, is it inappropriate for us to do this? After all, there has never been such a precedent." On the way back, UAIAI expressed her worries. "Don't worry, everything is within the rules. Even the referee can't find fault with it." Lin Gu felt funny. He has just reached where he is now. Which of the great people in the previous life didn't exploit loopholes in the rules? Old you don't understand this. When the rules are established, they also create huge benefits for those who exploit loopholes. Read more books when you have time. Don't exercise your muscles all day long. You will become stupid if you exercise. Lin Gu patted UAIAI on the shoulder, looking like a wise man. "Who are you calling stupid?" UAIAI grabbed his hand directly, turned it 360 degrees, and pressed him against the wall. "Ouch, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts." Lin Gu quickly admitted his mistake. "You're just being rude." UAIAI was worried that she would really hurt him, so even though she said that, she loosened her grip a little. "Big sister, violence can't solve the problem, can you just let go first?" Lin Gu grimaced in pain. "Violence can't solve problems, but it can solve you. And what's wrong with calling someone big sister or sister-in-law?" UAIAI tried hard to suppress her smile. "No, Lao Yu, you're going a bit too far. I treat you as a brother, but you always want to be my sister-in-law." Lin Gu felt his position was threatened. Scream or not? UAIAI added another point of pressure on her hand. A real man is born between heaven and earth, how can he be depressed and inferior to others for long? Lin Gu yelled. "Speak human language." "Hello, sister-in-law." "That's more like it." UAIAI let go of her hand contentedly. "No, Lao Yu, it's no use asking me to call you sister-in-law. My brother doesn't even know you." Lin Gu rubbed his arm and muttered in dissatisfaction. "What do you know? As long as we have our own people in key positions, what can't be accomplished?" UAIAI raised her chin proudly. Lin Gu was speechless. "Brother, I have to bear with you for now. It's my fault that I can't beat her now. A real man can bend and stretch. Just shout first, and we'll talk about it when I can beat her." Lin Gu silently wrote down UAIAI's name in a small notebook. Inside a residential building near Xiangshan. "Tomorrow all students will enter Xiangshan. I will find a way to send you in then. Remember, you only have 1 hour." A masked man looked at the others at the round table and said, 1 hour. Time is a bit tight. It takes more than that just to find someone. Some people are dissatisfied. I will send you the location when the time comes. You don't need to find everyone, just a few seated players. The masked man had a hoarse voice and it was impossible to tell whether he was male, female, old or young. Just then, his cell phone suddenly rang. When he opened it, he was overjoyed. Ha ha ha. God help us, this Su Guangqi actually wants to set up a camouflage barrier. Why would they set up this thing? Is there a trick? A dark shadow raised the question in his mind. It seems to be to prevent students from forming teams privately, but the camouflage barrier is also beneficial to us. Then you can blend in without worrying about being discovered. The masked man was in a good mood. Hee hee. Since the other party is so cooperative, let's give him a big gift. The dark figure sitting in the first seat let out a sinister laugh. Early the next morning, Lin Gu and others walked out of their rooms one after another and headed towards the entrance of Xiangshan. Lin Gu, don't think that you can look down on us just because you won Tianqing number 1 high school by chance. When we get to Xiangshan later, I will definitely make you pay. Just as everyone was lining up, a discordant voice rang out, directed directly at Lin Gu. Everyone looked towards the direction where the sound came from, only to see Lu Qing looking at Lin Gu angrily. Lin Gu looked at Lu Qing in confusion, but when he saw him winking at him, he immediately understood. I don't look down on you. I just simply look down on you. Don't agree. You are welcome to beat my sister-in-law anytime. By the way, this is my sister-in-law. Lin Gu acted arrogantly and pulled out Yu Ai, who was also confused, from beside him. Not only Lu Qing couldn't do it, but even his teammates from Fangqing number 1 high school were all confused. What's going on? What happened last night? How come the captain became his sister-in-law? Xie Daiyong looked at the others. Everyone shook their heads like rattles in tacit understanding, indicating that they didn't know either. Hey, what are you talking about? Yu Ai is a girl after all, so how could she bear such gazes from everyone? Didn't you say you wanted to be my sister-in-law? Lu Qing insisted on adding drama to himself, and I couldn't do anything about it. Lin Gu wanted to continue teasing her, but when he saw her clenched fists that were creaking, he wisely changed the subject. Lu Qing on the opposite side was also stunned for a long time. Then he looked at Yu Ai, then at Lin Gu, and finally said dryly, just wait for me. All participating students, please enter the competition venue. A notification came over the radio. Everyone walked into the passage one after another. Lin Gu also followed the crowd into the passage. The passage looked small, but after walking in, he found that it was actually a space crack. It's actually a secret place. Lin Gu looked at the space vortex in front of him, a little surprised. He always thought that Xiangshan was the mountain in front of him, but he didn't expect that this was just a cover and the real examination site was a secret place. Damn it, I miscalculated. Lin Gu thought about his previous arrangements and wailed in his heart. Their plans were all designed around the terrain of Xiangshan, but who knew that the examination room was in a secret place? Classmate, please hurry up, the people behind are still waiting. The soldier in charge of guarding the entrance to the secret realm handed him a watch and urged him. Okay. Lin Gu quickly took it and quickened his pace to step into the vortex. After stepping in, Lin Gu felt dizzy and lost all senses and control of his body. Fortunately, this feeling soon disappeared. When he opened his eyes again, he was already in a forest. Beep beep. The watch on my hand gave a reminder. Lin Gu looked down and saw a text message pop up. Mission 1, survive for 24 hours. Reward, 10 points. Mission 2, defeat others who are not teammates. Reward, 10 points will be awarded for each person defeated, and half of the opponent's points will be taken. Mission 3, successfully obtain the flag and hold it for 10 hours. Reward, champion. After reading the task instructions, Lin Gu felt terrible. The team competition lasts for 3 days. If a team survives and is not eliminated, it will get 300 points. Half of the points of the eliminated party will go to the winner, so no one should take action on the first day. The second and third days will be the real hunting time. But what does the last mission mean? Lin Gu looked at the last task, found the flag, and held it for 10 hours, reward, champion. It's definitely not that simple. There must be some hidden conditions. Lin Gu instantly thought of scenes from countless novels. For example, being guarded by monsters, constantly reporting one's location, or other deceptive actions. Forget it, I don't want to think about it anymore, let's go find the others first. Lin Gu patted his face, threw those messy thoughts out of his mind, and walked in a direction. Wrong. Lin Gu had just taken 2 steps when he realized something was wrong. He looked down at his pants and shoes, and his expression instantly turned ugly. Why did my clothes change? Lin Gu said this and quickly took out his cell phone. Although there was no signal, it was no problem to use it as a mirror. When his face was reflected in the phone, Lin Gu was completely numb. At this time, he was wearing a uniform and a helmet on his head, and his original appearance could not be seen at all. Lin Gu tried to touch it with his hand, and his fingers went straight through the helmet and touched his cheek. Phantom. What a bummer. Lin Gu was speechless. Although he didn't know why this happened, it was undoubtedly a very unfavorable situation for his plan. I don't know if this is the case for other people. Just as he was thinking about a solution, a small green light suddenly flashed on his watch. This is the sign of a teammate. It seems that there are no restrictions between teammates. The only problem is how to contact Ergeo and the others. The more Lin Gu thought about it, the more upset he became. It was as if this disguise was deliberately targeting him. Crack! There was the sound of dead branches being stepped on and broken. Lin Gu looked up in the direction where the sound came from, only to see a person standing there, looking at him very vigilantly. The two of them kept a distance of about 10 meters between them, and neither of them spoke, just staring at each other. Lin Gu glanced at his watch and asked tentatively, "Heavenly King covering Earth Tiger." Lin Gu. The man suddenly became excited when he heard his words. Old Xie. Lin Gu also recognized the other person's voice. It was Xie Dayong. What's going on? How come our true selves are all hidden? Xie Dayong started asking questions as if he had met a relative. I don't know what happened. Did you meet anyone else when you came here? Lin Gu shook his head, indicating that he didn't know either. No, I was teleported here as soon as I came in. You're the only person I met. Xie Dayong also shook his head. Let's go somewhere else and get familiar with the surrounding environment first. Lin Gu decided to take a walk around the neighborhood. The two walked towards the east together. Wait a minute, there might be someone nearby. Lin Gu suddenly stopped, squatted down and picked up a weed on the ground. Upon hearing this, Xie Dayong immediately looked around vigilantly and took a defensive posture. What did you find? The weeds have signs of being broken and look very fresh. Lin Gu pinched the weeds with his hands and found that the juice on them had not dried up yet. Do we fight or run? Xie Dayong asked. Have you got a weapon? Lin Gu asked suddenly. Yes. Xie Dayong didn't understand what Lin Gu meant, but he still took out a pair of brass knuckles from his arms. That's good. Lin Gu nodded, and suddenly rushed in one direction, and Shuezhou instantly appeared in Lin Ji's hand. Wind slash. Holding the long knife in both hands, he chopped directly at the dead tree next to him. Before Xie Dayong could react, Lin Ji's long knife had already chopped at the dead tree. Under the astonished gaze of the two men, the big tree seemed to come alive and split off a piece. Looking closely, that is not a dead tree, it is clearly a person pretending to be one. What a great disguise! Lin Gu exclaimed. How did you find me? The men did not leave, but stood not far away and asked. Your disguise is very clever, but you overlooked one thing. Lin Gu did not rush to take action, but started chatting with the other party. What's up? The men demanded, obviously eager to know the answer. There can't be lush grass around a big tree. Although your disguise is very realistic, you have ignored basic common sense. Lin Gu said with a smile. The men looked at Lin Gu as if he were a monster, and complained madly in his heart. Basic common sense, who would pay attention to these things? I've learned your lesson. Our green mountains and clear waters remain unchanged, ah. Before the men could finish his words, he was hit by a club from behind. I'm Lin Gu, he's Xie Dayong, what about you? Lin Gu looked at the person who came and asked. It's me, you AI. What a coincidence. Lin Gu was a little surprised. He didn't expect that in such a short time, their team had already gathered 3 people. Who is this person? How to deal with him? You AI looked at the person lying on the ground and asked. I don't know him. He's just an idiot. He actually chatted with me on the battlefield. Do you really think I'm so free? Lin Gu said indifferently. Xie Dayong, who was standing aside, lowered his head silently. He thought the two were just chatting, but who knew that you AI suddenly appeared and hit the other party with a club. If you eliminate him, you'll get 10 points. Who's next? You AI looked at the two of them. Don't do it, keep it for now. Lin Gu quickly stopped the two. What are you keeping it for? The two were a little confused. You are stupid. Every day you survive adds 10 points. Now is the beginning. If we eliminate him, we will get 10 points at most. If we wait 2 or 3 days before we do it, won't we just get a dozen points for nothing? Lin Ge looked very disappointed. Ai and Xie Daiyong were silent, and both subconsciously took a step away from Lin Ge. They have to fatten them up before killing them. Are they treating people like pigs? Is this something a human would do? Why are you so far away? Come over here and give me a hand. Tie him up. Lin Ge found a few vines nearby and tied up the unfortunate child tightly, then stopped with satisfaction. Lin Ge, your plan seems to have failed. Now our original appearances have been hidden. How can we contact others? Ai asked. Plans cannot keep up with changes. Who knew this would happen? There was no such item in the league data of previous years. Lin Ge got so angry when he mentioned this. So what should we do next? Let's explore the surroundings first and see if we can find Wan Quan and the others first. People who are alone are the most dangerous at this time. If we encounter a strong one, we can only give away points. Lin Ge wasn't sure if anyone else was nearby. Okay, you make the plan and I'll do the fighting. Ai held a stick at her eyebrows, looking ready to fight at any time. Have you noticed that there's something wrong with the weather here? Lin Ge looked up at the sun in the sky. He remembered that it was morning when he came in. Only a few hours had passed and the sky was already starting to darken. I heard from my father that in some secret realms, the time is different from our reality, and the alternation of day and night is faster than ours. Ai was not too surprised. No, do you remember our first mission? It said to survive for 24 hours, not 1 day. Lin Ge thought of a detail. What do you mean? Does it make a difference? Xie Daiyong and Ai were both confused and didn't understand what he meant. Forget it. You won't understand even if I tell you. Lin Ge was too lazy to explain the reason to them. You can't tell them that the Earth rotates once in 24 hours. God knows whether the world is round or not. I want to beat him up. So do I. Ai and Xie Daiyong both felt that they were being despised. Careful. Lin Ge suddenly shouted. The long knife in his hand chopped directly towards Ai. Ai reacted very quickly. When she heard Lin Ge's shout, she rushed to one side. Clang. A sound of metal collision was heard. Lin Ge used the suizu in his hand to knock away the flying hidden weapon, and with a flash of his figure, he rushed directly into the woods. Ai and Xie Daiyong hurriedly followed. Call out. Another hidden weapon flew over and pierced Lin Ge's forehead. Lin Ge raised his knife to block, and at this time he finally saw clearly who had attacked him. Like them, he was wearing a uniform and a helmet, so it was impossible to tell who he was. Old you. Lin Ge shouted. Ai understood instantly and accelerated, blocking the man's way. Swish, swish, swish. 3 sounds of breaking through the air were heard, and the man's hidden weapon actually shot at Lin Ge and the other 2 at the same time. He is Lu Haichuan, the first high school in the underground city. Ai shouted. When Lin Ge heard this, information about Lu Haichuan instantly emerged in his mind. The captain of the first high school in the dungeon, he is good at disguise, hidden weapons, and physical skills. Keep him here, and don't let him run away. Lin Ge didn't want to be stared at by someone who was so good at sneak attacks. The 3 of them formed a horn and surrounded Lu Haichuan. Are you from Fangqing No. 1 High School? Seeing that he couldn't escape, Lu Haichuan simply stopped running and pulled out 2 daggers. No, we are from Yuanqing Second High School. Lin Ge spoke up. Lu Haichuan was speechless. Was he being treated as a fool? He might not recognize others, but he would not make a mistake in remembering Ai. Holding a stick as high as his eyebrows and having such strong fighting power, there is no other person except Ai, the captain of Fangqing No. 1 High School. How about we make a deal? Lu Haichuan looked directly at Ai and asked. We have something to discuss. Ai didn't buy it at all and just swung her long stick at him. Although there are 3 of you, I can still cripple one of you if I fight to the death. How about we just call it a day and go our separate ways? Lu Haichuan tried to reconcile. That makes sense. Lin Gu nodded in agreement, then stabbed the long knife in his hand directly into his chest. Since you agree, why don't you stop? You AI, do you really want to fight me to the death? Lu Haichuan avoided Lin Ge's attack and looked at Yu AI with dissatisfaction. I'm just saying that what you said makes sense. What does this have to do with whether I agree or not? Lin Gu looked puzzled. Lu Haichuan felt that his brain was not enough. How could there be such a weird person in the world? Well, you actually delayed time and blocked his reinforcements. Lin Gu suddenly shouted at Yu AI. Yu AI turned her head and looked behind her, but there was nothing there. When Lu Haichuan heard this, he was delighted and quickly looked at the watch on his hand. There's no green light. Could it be someone from another team? Just as he was thinking about how to take advantage of the situation, a slightly teasing voice suddenly came to his ear. You are still distracted during a fight, who are you looking down on? It's terrible. Lu Haichuan cried out inwardly, oh no. But before he could react, he felt a piercing pain in his abdomen. When the opponent was distracted, Lin Gu used his fist to get close to him, held the long sword in reverse, and used the handle of the sword to directly touch the opponent's dantian. A hole in the sand. This is a major ache point in the human body, and it is also the place where qi and blood must pass through. After being hit by Lin Ge's move, the qi and blood in Lu Haichuan's body stagnated instantly. Lin Gu always follows the principle of taking advantage of your weakness to kill you, so how could he miss such a good opportunity? He pressed several acupuncture points around with the handle of the knife, directly beating Lu Haichuan to the point where he lost the ability to resist. Old Xie, tie him up too. Lin Gu was very satisfied with his results and directly asked Xie Dayong to find vines. You don't want to raise him like a pig, do you? Yu AI was speechless. This guy was addicted to raising pigs. Anyway, he can't recover his fighting power in a short period of time. If we don't take care of him for a day before killing him, wouldn't it be a waste of points? Lin Gu said nonchalantly. He was very confident in his ache-appointment pressing ability. After being hit so many times, the opponent would not be able to recover his fighting ability within at least 12 hours. When Lu Haichuan, who was lying on the ground, heard this, veins popped up on his forehead and a bunch of black lines appeared on his forehead. You AI, don't go too far. If you want to do something, do it quickly. Are you humiliating me? You talk too much. If you keep talking, I'll stuff your mouth with a sock. Lin Gu threatened. You. Although Lu Haichuan was very angry, he didn't dare to say anything more. The person in front of me is so mean. It will not be good for me if I annoy him. Seeing that the other party stopped talking, Lin Gu withdrew his hand from taking off his shoes with satisfaction. It's getting late. Let's find a place to rest first and continue looking for people when it gets light. Lin Gu looked at the sky which had already darkened and said. What about the two of them? Yu AI pointed at Lu Haichuan and another prisoner. Tie him up first and take turns to keep watch. We'll talk about everything after daybreak. Lin Gu also knew that there were great risks in bringing them along. After all, the other party would not be able to cooperate with them. But this is a way to gain points, and Lin Gu can't just watch a bunch of points slip away from him. Did you bring any food? Yu AI sat on a dead tree and asked the two people. No. Xie Dayong shook his head. This is a team competition, everyone is just concerned about bringing combat items. Who would bring that stuff? I have some energy bars here. Lin Gu said, reaching into his arms, taking out 3 energy bars from the space ring and handing them over. Lin Zi is worthy of being our military advisor. He always considers everything. Xie Dayong took the energy bar and immediately praised it with a smile on his face. Thank you. Yu AI didn't hesitate and just tore it open and ate it. Give me 1, 2. And me. Lu Haichuan and another prisoner standing by saw the 3 men eating with gusto, swallowed their saliva, and asked for some. Good. Lin Gu is not a stingy person. He kidnapped Lu Haichuan and the others just for points and did not want to make enemies with them. It was just an energy bar and he still had a lot in his space. By the way, buddy, which school are you from? Lin Gu looked at the fat guy who was captured first. Aixingen, the second highest level in the dungeon. AI Xingyan did not feel ashamed at all and calmly accepted the fact of being captured. Are you AI Shingen? Yu AI looked at the little fat boy in surprise. Lin Ge was also a little surprised. He didn't expect that they just arrested 2 people, and they were both captain-level figures. Seeing that you were also captured, I suddenly felt that being captured wasn't so shameful after all. When Lu Haichuan heard that the other person was AI Shingen, his mentality instantly balanced. A seated player of the team was arrested, so it didn't seem unacceptable for him to be arrested. Don't worry, I'm the first one, and you won't be the last. With this guy around, more people will definitely be caught. AI Shingen looked at Lin Ge resentfully. Everyone except Lin Ge nodded in agreement. Lin Ge felt offended, but couldn't find any evidence. Let me make it clear first. The 2 of you don't play any tricks. After 24 hours, I will eliminate you. If you don't behave, don't blame me. Lin Ge raised his fist. Got it. I have no interest in the competition to begin with. I was forced to come here this time. It doesn't matter if you eliminate me, as long as you don't knock me out again. AI Shingen was extremely depressed when he mentioned this. He has always been known for his strong defensive ability, but he didn't expect to be hit by a club as soon as he entered the secret realm, and he had no chance to display his skills at all. Yu AI felt a little embarrassed and looked at Lin Ge angrily. Lin Ge shrugged helplessly. He told everyone before the game that if they could launch a sneak attack, they would never fight head-on. He didn't expect Yu AI to learn so quickly. They chatted for a while and then went to find a place to rest. The next morning, Lin Ge woke up and checked the time. The time for day and night in this secret realm should be 12 hours. So, we have to stay in here for 6 days and nights. Yu AI frowned when she heard this. Is there anything wrong with that? Xie Dayong was a little confused.